nation. Hebrew kingdom building.
All right, let's go to Bereshiyt 1. So there's some stuff Most High want me to talk to y'all about. I've been actually wanting to talk to y'all about this for a while. Yeah. All right, y'all ready? So I'm gonna ask y'all to read along, even though y'all probably know this, a couple of these verses by heart now. Let's see. In the beginning, Alua created the, and the earth was without. Oh snap! Oh, snap! Ah. We're gonna read it anyway. Let's get it.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, Alua created the Shamayim and Haaretz. Haaretz was without form and void.
So the earth was without form and void, it was in chaos and disorder, and what happened?
And darkness was on the face of the deep.
All right, we're in the dark season. Darkness was on the face of the deep. Tomorrow they're gonna change the time on us, and sundown tonight, huh? Sundown will be at around 6 p.m. Let's keep going. And what happened?
And the Ruach of Alua was hovering over the face of the waters.
All right, so this is what I want y'all to look at. Read verse 1 again.
Verse 1. In the beginning, Alua created the Shamayim and the Eretz.
So what is this showing the first thing that Yahuwah created? Yeah, heaven and earth. I know I ain't gonna say that, but she said it, but she gonna give away everything. Oh, that was Amar? Oh, I thought I was finna blame it on what's her name? No, that was Tubes, Amar. No, you're right. But so basically, heaven and earth was the first creation of Yahuwah. Heaven and earth was the first creation of Yahuwah. It says in the beginning, Yahuwah created heaven and earth. Right. Heaven and earth was the firstborn.
Right.
Y'all get what I'm saying?
Right.
The two witnesses was the firstborn of Alua. Y'all following this? Sapphire and amber. Remember, sapphire and amber is heaven and earth. Was the firstborn of Alua. The nation of Israel, which is heaven and earth, which is the two witnesses, which is sapphire and amber, is the firstborn of Yahuwah. Y'all get it? Give me Exodus chapter 4, verse 22. Yeah, Exodus 4, Shemot 4:22. Go ahead and read it.
Exodus chapter 4, verse 22. Then you shall say to Pharaoh, thus says Yahuwah, Yashar'ah is my son, my firstborn.
Say it again.
Verse 22. Then you shall say to Pharaoh, thus says Yahuwah, Yashar'ah is my son, my firstborn.
Y'all see that? Yahuwah said that Israel was my firstborn. That's interesting too, because Israel's like the youngest of the nations. But we're the firstborn. Go to Go to, I think it's Ephesians. Hold on. Yeah. That's what it is, huh? No. No, I think you're right, yeah. Colossians 1. Colossians 1, verse 15
Colossians 1, verse 15.
through 19.
He is the image of the invisible Elohim,
They're talking about Yahusha.
the firstborn over all creation.
Huh? Say it again.
He is the image of the invisible Elohim, the firstborn over all creation.
Yahusha is the firstborn of all creation. Y'all see this? And we are Yahusha's body. Heaven and earth. Y'all know that there's a there's a representative of yourself in the Shamayim. Yeah, we're heaven. The heaven and earth is us. You have your eternal self in the Shamayim, then your representative on the Eretz. The body of Yahusha. The firstborn of Yahuwah. That's what he created first. It says, before anything, Bereshiyt. I think it says Bereshiyt, bara, Hashamayim, Be'it, Haaretz. Say it again, say it.
Bereshiyt bara Elohim et hashamayim va'et haaretz.
Bereshiyt, bara. Oh, man, she got me on that. But yeah, in the beginning, heaven and earth was created. That's us. It's Yahusha. We're not going to get into whether or not Yahusha was created. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm just saying that as the body of Yahusha, we represent him. Heavens and earth. So, that's why we're supposed to be governors of his kabod. We're supposed to have dominion over the Shamayim and the Eretz. We've been talking about how the nation's been really trying to have that, and it seems like they're being successful to take dominion over the Shamayim and the Eretz, and the seas too, but especially the Shamayim and the Eretz. So I talked about how them going to space and NASA, and because I always wondered that, it just didn't make no sense to me. Like, why the other nations trying so hard to go to space? Like, man, what's the deal with that? Just chill. Like, what is that gonna do? Because I remember they had showed a video. There was like a robot on Mars, and it was like, yeah, we made it to Mars. This is a robot that we have on Mars. It literally was just like rocks out there. Even if they is telling the truth, why are you trying to go out there? It was like billions of dollars that supposedly had spent for this robot to go, and it's just rocks out there. Hey, y'all, we made it to Mars. Here's a picture of it. It literally was like a rock. Yeah, y'all spend billions of dollars for that, man? There's people who need food out here. Y'all trying to go to Mars. Y'all need to go down to across the street where them homeless people at over there or something. Going to Mars. Y'all need to go to the projects over there and help some of these single mamas or something. Billions of dollars. It's real. Now, the money they spending is real. I know because I worked, I remember they had a whole section for NASA. The CEO was a black woman. Well, not CEO. She was the IT director for NASA. She was, I don't know if she still is, but it was at the time when I was back, some years ago, it was a black lady. And no, they had the bread. They was buying. That was one of Dell's biggest, it might have been Dell's biggest account. It was one of them. So, I mean, the money is real. That's why I don't believe the side of it that this is just all fake. Nobody's going to invest that amount of money for for something, you can just use AI or you could just use Photoshop to fake. You can just use Photoshop and AI. You can use, I know people who can edit video and fake the moon landing. Easy. You can do that for, man, about $500. You get some software, you can do that. Why you got a whole billions of dollars worth of equipment, a whole facility. One of them is right there in Houston, right? One of them is out here in Clear Lake. Anybody ever been out there? In Clear Lake, the NASA facility, it's a real facility, a real command center, et cetera, et cetera. And so maybe they're not going to the moon. Maybe they're dealing with, like other Aluas or something like that. Maybe it's something, maybe it's something more to it. But that's probably Air Force One who's doing that. But it maybe it's something. They're doing something. It ain't just all fake. They doing something, is what I'm saying. But my point is that I looked at that as just them trying to build an ark, and it is. But also an aspect of it is them trying to have dominion over the heavens, man. They really want to be able to, like the nations, they want to colonize other planets. They want to colonize, if they could, they would go and colonize the moon because they know that the Most High is about to judge the earth. So that's the ark part of it, trying to escape the judgment that Yahuwah is doing on the rest for what they done. But they also want more dominion. Man, if we can, I think we can inhabit Mars. It's very similar to Earth. I think it's inhabitable. If we can just get over there. For real. They're not going over there to play patty cake. They're going over there to have dominion. So it's the same thing with the explorers, right? I remember growing up, I learned about Ferdinand Magellan, Christopher Columbus, all the great explorers. They were all high-level wicked. High-level wicked. We know Christopher Columbus was responsible for like all kind of atrocities and stuff. But the point is that y'all ever thought about, man, how come like for example, it was what was her name, Amelia Earhart? She won a record for, I think she flew around the world. It's like, man, why you need to do all that for? I think she didn't make it. Yeah, she crashed or something. Oh, nobody know what happened to her, huh? That's crazy. Ain't no telling. I know. I just thought about that too. Because she disappeared. Nobody know what happened to her, but she has won a record because she flew around the world. And I think it was Ferdinand Magellan was one of those that they're in all the history because they say they sailed the farthest. They sailed around the world. They won this record for being able to sail around the world nonstop. These great explorers. Like, why are you doing all that exploring for? Why you need to do that for? You know what I'm saying? And again, it goes back to dominion. It goes back to dominion. It's the same reason why they're trying to go to space. So, I'll say all that to say that go to Isaiah 65. All right, let's go ahead. Isaiah 65, let's do it. Oh, go ahead. Ema has something?
Shalom. They had a school like Amelia Earhart in Dallas, because I went to it. It was an elementary school. And I
Oh,
went
man.
there.
I wonder if she's from out here. Interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, only reason why I know her name because they taught her about her in school. All right, let's start at verse 1.
Isaiah chapter 65, verse 1. I was sought by those who did not ask for me. I was found by those who did not seek me. I said, here I am, to a nation that was not called by my name.
Skip down to verse 17.
Verse 17. For behold, I create new Shamayim and a new Aretz.
A new heaven and a new earth? Because it says in the beginning, Yahuwah created the heaven and earth. But the earth was without form. It was tohu wabohu. It was in chaos and disorder. And we established that heaven and earth is us. So he said, let there be light, and he brought things in order. A new heaven and a new earth. Man. Go back to Genesis 1. Look what happened. In the beginning, he created the heaven and earth. But it was in chaos. Right. Go back to Genesis 1. Hold your place, though. Look what happened. It was without form and void, and darkness was on the face, and he put it in this Ruach hover. There was a pouring of the Ruach. Right. And then he said, let there be light. And there was light. All right. And so go to verse 6. Read that.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 6. Then Eluah said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. Thus Eluah made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And Eluah called the firmament Shamayim.
What did he call the firmament?
The Shamayim.
What did he call it?
The Shamayim.
A new heaven? Because it didn't. He already said he already created the heavens.
Oh, snap.
Y'all see what's happening here? So there was a new heaven and a new earth that happened during the creation week. Wow. Go back to Isaiah 65. That's why Adam. No, go to Genesis 2. I ain't gonna. We gotta read it. I ain't just gonna say it. We gotta read it. Genesis 2. And read verse 7.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. And Yahuwah Eluah formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life.
Say that again.
Verse 7. And Yahuwah Eluah formed man of the dust of the ground.
He formed man of what?
The dust of the ground.
We're Eretz. We're the earth. We're heaven and earth. That's what we made from.
That's right.
How was he able to form man out of the dust of the ground if that wasn't us?
Right.
What did he do after that?
And breathed into his nostrils the breath of life.
Man, breathe on these dry bones. Breathe on these dry bones. The breath, that's the air, that's the Ruach, that's the Shamayim. Shamayim and the Eretz. Because the Ruach, the wind, that's from the firmament, that's Shamayim. There was a new heaven and a new earth that happened here. It happened again during the time when we was in captivity in Mitzrayim, y'all. We were in chaos and disorder. We were slaves. We was fighting each other. We was no unity. We were in Mitzrayim. Moshe thought he was going to come and be here. He had a heart for us. He found out he woke up. He found out he was an Israelite. And the first thing he ran into was two of our people fighting each other. Why they in slavery and being oppressed by somebody else? Like, man, why you fight? Moshe was he was astonished. Why y'all fighting each other, man, when y'all the same people? And then they turned on Moshe and told on him. So where he had to flee.
After he put one of them back in the dirt. He hit him in the dirt.
Oh, man. Oh, man. It says he looked that way, that way, killed the Egyptian, and put him in the Eretz. Put him in the dirt. Read Genesis 22, verse 17. From the
Genesis,
Torah portion.
Genesis chapter 22, verse 17. Blessing, I will bless you, and multiplying, I will multiply your descendants as the stars of the Shamayim.
So that's the firmament, right? Remember in Genesis 1, the stars and the sun and the moon, they were all in the firmament. The heavens. That's heaven, and then go ahead.
And as the sand which is on the seashore.
Ain't that where Moshe he hid them in the sand. He hid them in the sand. The Eretz, the sand of the seashore. So that's showing we're heaven and earth. We're heaven and earth. All right. All right. So when there was a new heaven and a new earth made in the creation week in Genesis 1, Adam and Hawa were the people set apart to have dominion over the Shamayim and the Eretz. He said, be fruitful and multiply, have subdue, have dominion on the Eretz, over the animals, etc., etc. Over the birds, that's the Shamayim, over the animals, etc. So, over every creeping thing. Over the spiders. Spider not supposed to have dominion over y'all females. All right, so let's go to Isaiah 65. Let's go back to Isaiah 65. Verse 17, let's get it.
Isaiah chapter 65, verse 17. For behold, I create new Shamayim and a new Eretz, and the former shall not be remembered or come to mind, but be glad and rejoice forever in what I create.
You hear this? So he said he creates a new heaven and a new earth. The former shall not be remembered or come to mind. That's why we don't know nothing about what happened in the beginning when things was without form or void. We don't have no idea what went down before that. It don't even come to mind. But he said, be glad and rejoice forever in what?
In what I create.
A creation time, a creation. Man, we was without form and void in Mitzrayim. And then Yahuwah took something that was out of chaos and disorder and brought it into order. It says that we came out of Mitzrayim in orderly ranks, armed. Said we came out of Mitzrayim in orderly ranks. When you read the dry bones prophecy in Ezekiel 37, he breathed on the dry bones, and it said that they woke up an exceedingly great army. They were in order. It was chaos and disorder. They were dry bones. They were in the dirt. Dry means it's like dirt. That's why when it's the word dry, it's like sand, dirt. It's like dry desert. They were like it was dry. Right. It's like dust. But he breathed on the dry bones, and it came up as living. The people came up as living beings, just like when Yahuwah breathed into Adam, formed them out of the dust. He formed them out of the dirt. It wasn't dry though, because he watered it. And when Adam was made, Yahuwah said, be fruitful, multiply, have dominion, and kabash the Eretz. They had authority. It was the same thing with the dry bones prophecy. When he woke them up, they had authority. It's the same thing with we were coming out of Mitzrayim. When he woke us up and pulled us out of captivity, out of chaos and disorder, we had authority. We had power. It said we moved out in orderly ranks. All right, let's keep going. Verse 18.
Verse 18. But be glad and rejoice forever in what I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem as a rejoicing.
As a what?
As a rejoicing.
All right, y'all know that's Sukkot language. Keep going.
And her people a joy. I will rejoice in Jerusalem.
That's what we were doing in Sukkot. Let's keep going.
And joy in my people. The voice of weeping shall no longer be heard in her, nor the voice of crying. No more shall an infant from there live but a few days, nor an old man who has not fulfilled his days. For the child shall die 100 years old, but the sinner being 100 years old shall be accursed.
Keep going.
They shall build houses and inhabit them. They shall plant vineyards and eat their fruit. They shall not build and another inhabit. They shall not plant and another eat. For as the days of a tree, so shall be the days of my people. And my elect shall long enjoy the work of their hands.
Yes.
They shall not labor in vain.
That means this is about the people, the seed being under the blessings now. Being under the blessings of Deuteronomy 28 now. This is how it looks. Keep going.
Verse 23. They shall not labor in vain, nor bring forth children for trouble. For they shall be the descendants of the blessed of Yahuwah, and their offspring with them.
Keep going.
It shall come to pass that before they call, I will answer.
Yes, sir.
And while they are still speaking, I will hear.
This came out in Sukkot, that we're in a time where we declare a thing and it'll come to pass. Right? I'm like, you will proclaim a thing, it'll come to pass right there, right there. This is where we're at. Keep going.
The wolf and the lamb shall feed together. The lion shall eat straw like the ox, and the dust shall be the serpent's food.
The dust shall be what?
The serpent's food.
So this is basically talking about how, we talked about this before, how the nations will be submitted to us. The nations won't be dangerous to us anymore. The nations won't be dangerous to us. The wolf and the lamb will be chilling together. You know, the wolves was always representing the other nations, somebody wicked. You know, the false prophets, they come as wolves in sheep's clothing. You know, you hear that language and things like that. And the lion shall eat straw like the ox, and dust shall be the serpent's food. Serpent, that means you want no more fiery darts. Like the nations, it's basically saying Yahuwah will make it to where your enemies will even be at peace with you. When he's talking about the lion shall eat straw like the ox, he's not talking about the Kodesh lions like the lion of the Yahudim. You got your righteous lions, and then you got Hasatan moves like a lion. What does it say? Hasatan goes back and forth. What does it say?
Like a roaring lion.
Like a roaring lion, seeing whom he may devour. So you got the righteous lion, you got the Kodesh Yahudim, but then you also got the wicked lion, Hasatan. This talking about the wicked ones right now.
Right.
And the lion, you can't. The wicked lion won't even touch you. They won't be able to touch the Kodeshim. They'll be submitted to you. They'll be at peace with you. And this is the proof. Read the next verse. Oh, it's not the next verse. The next line. This is the proof that this is what this means.
And they shall not hurt nor destroy in my Kodesh mountain, says
There you
Yahuwah.
go. See? There you go. That's the proof of what that verse means. Let's go to Revelation 22, y'all. Revelation 22. So now this is showing that this is going to have. This is what's coming. This is what's coming. Revelation 21. I'm sorry. Revelation 21. All right, Revelation 21. Let's do it.
Revelation 21, verse 1. Now I saw a new Shamayim and a new Eretz.
A new what?
A new Shamayim and a new Eretz.
So we see a new heaven and a new earth right here, don't we? This in Revelation. This about the end. This is an end time prophecy that Yachanan has saw. Keep going. Why did he say that? For what?
For the first Shamayim and the first Eretz had passed away.
All right. You know what? I'm going to wait on Benaiah. Hold on. I'm going to wait on Benaiah. Hold on. All right. Revelation 21, verse 1. Let's do it.
You want me to start back from the beginning?
Yes. Verse 1 from the beginning. Yep.
Now I saw a new Shamayim and a new Eretz. For the first Shamayim and the first Eretz had passed away.
So there was a first Shamayim and a first Eretz that passed away. Y'all, the new heaven and the new earth is about there being a new ruler in town, a new head. A new Shamayim and a new earth means it's about having dominion over the Shamayim and the rest. That's what it's about. So right now the nations have the dominion, right? Right now the nations have the dominion on the Eretz. Right now the nations have the dominion on the Shamayim. Think about the inventions of airplanes for a quick second. The inventions of airplanes was something that the nations, they raced for that invention and they got it done. I submit it was the fallen who gave them that technology to make crafts that fly. Because it was their quest to have dominion over the Shamayim. So when that dominion is taken from them and given to the Kodashim, that's a new Shamayim and a new Eretz. Y'all get it? When that dominion is taken from them and given to somebody new, that's a new heaven and a new earth. Oh yeah, bring that out. I forgot about that. Actually, Malek had brought this out a long time ago.
So I'll read it. It's Deuteronomy 28, 23. What I was saying is this goes back. So it's about the transference of dominion. Because in the curses, Deuteronomy 28, there's the blessings. It's like, hey, man, you're going to have dominion. But then, after verse 14, it's all curses. And it reads like this, Deuteronomy 28, 23. And your Shamayim, which are over your head, will be bronze. And the earth, which is under you, will be iron.
The Shamayim, which is over you, will be bronze. And the Shamayim, which is under you, shall be iron. I mean, the Eretz, which is under you, shall be iron, right? God. So, it's like the Shamayim and the Eretz has dominion over you. That's Deuteronomy 28. During the curses, the Shamayim and the Eretz had dominion over you. But in the blessings, you have dominion over the Shamayim and the Eretz. That's the new Shamayim and the new Eretz. It's a new dominion. It's when we have dominion over the Shamayim and the Eretz again. That's the new heaven and the new earth. He says, for the old heaven and the old earth passed away. Why did it say that in Revelation 21? Because if you read the rest of Revelation before that, Yahuwah was destroying the nations. He destroyed them. The old heaven and the old earth passed away. They don't have dominion over those things no more. Wow. I made all things new. This is where we at. This is where we at. That's why that's why the Most High wanted me to bring this out right now, y'all. This is where we at. When I moved out of that house, man, and that fig tree died when we got back from Sukkot, that was a sign that we are under the blessings now. We are no longer under the curses.
Man, hallelujah.
We are no longer under the curses. We are under the blessings of Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 14. So it's time to move differently. For Yahuwah has given us dominion. It's not by Listen, y'all. Okay. Told out Yahuwah. I didn't even think about this. Told out Yahuwah. This is Yahuwah. My firstborn son, the Most High gave his name is Dominion. Yahuwah's Dominion. My firstborn. The firstborn, Israel is my son, my firstborn.
Right.
Heaven and earth was the firstborn. In the beginning, Yahuwah created the heaven and earth. Yeah, this is where we at. That name was given to Radayahu last Shabbat. We're in a new time now, a new day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got to believe this. So there's a different way that we got to move. There's a different way that we got to act. Talked about this a long time ago, but you know, when somebody first become famous, they still try to hang out in their old neighborhood and stuff. It usually takes one incident for them to realize, oh, snap, I can't be doing this. I'm tripping. It'd be a near-death experience or something. Or end up getting robbed or something happens, you know. Or somebody just go crazy on them, follow them to their house or something. And that's when they realize, oh, snap, I'm tripping. I might need to, you know, get security or, you know, I can't just be hanging out in my old neighborhood no more. Like you started to say, eye-opener that you're different. But it's you usually don't see it. It's crazy. You usually don't see it. Ask anybody who if you have any family members that are famous, or even just a little famous. They don't got to be like big famous. Even a little famous. Any you know, professional sports players in your family, anything like that. You know, you still try to move regular until you get. A lot of people don't realize it until they get an eye opener, and that's y'all. I don't think y'all realize fully what's going on the Eretz right now and in the Shamayim, and what the other nations know and what they see right now when they see you. And they see what's going on. What do you think was going? Like Ema's dream, man, that she just brought out, man? That wasn't no reason by chance that she brought that out when she brought it out. That it was a guy, a person represented by somebody she knew, waking up from the dead, and somebody was trying to stop it. Somebody was trying to keep that from happening. Oh, that was his boga? Oh, snap. Yeah, I thought it was a whole one too.
I started reading the Torah portion, which I've already read it. This was probably the second or third time. But I kept hearing some voices. I kept hearing something talk to me. And I stopped reading to try to hear it, but I wouldn't hear it no more. Then every time I would start reading it, I would hear, and I get sleepy, and I would hear something talk to me, but I didn't know what they were saying. So when I finally went to sleep, I had another dream that added on to that, but I don't remember none of it.
Okay, so when that happens, the best thing to do is to go and pray. Get out of the bed and pray. That's, a lot of times that's the Most High trying to speak to you, a malak or something like that. But if you have a prayer closet or somewhere, when that happens again, because it'll happen again. Just the next time, because sometimes it's hard to quiet your mind enough to hear exactly what's being said, and then you'll just fall asleep. You know what I'm saying? No, get up, wake yourself up, and then go into prayer so that you're up, that you're, not in the bed. You're in the bed, you fall asleep. But that you're up, now you're awake, and now you're going into a meditation state, but in a way that you won't fall asleep. And now you're listening, and that's when you, or ask the Most High to please, tell me, please show, speak to me again, Yahuwah. What are you trying to tell me? I want to hear you. I want to know what you're saying. You can say something like that, and just be silent, and then write down everything you hear. Oh, snap. Oh, man. Praise Yahushua. That's it. Well, that's your confirmation. That's the, but, okay, man. But nevertheless, I believe that's pretty much the gist of it. I feel like there's more, but that's the gist of it. We got a lot of other stuff we need to jump on. But heaven and earth. New heaven and new earth is about dominion. It's about us having dominion, and that's where we are at. New heaven and a new earth. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All right. All right, let's go to Bereshiyt 18. He has something to say. He has something to say. All right. Let's get it. Verse 1.
Genesis chapter 18, verse 1. Then Yahuwah appeared to him by the terebinth trees of Mamre, as he was sitting in the tent door in the heat of the day. So he lifted his eyes and looked, and behold, 3 men were standing by him. And when he saw them, he ran from the tent door to meet them and bowed himself to the ground.
He ran from where?
The tent door to meet them.
Yeah, this is Abraham. He was dwelling in tents. He left the city where he had a crib to be in the country dwelling in tents.
Man.
Abraham was dwelling in tents because he knew this was not his home. He was a sojourner passing through. He was of the Shamayim. And so he dwelled in tents doing moving in Yahuwah's will. They had so much possessions when they got out of captivity, when they got out of Pharaoh's house, right? Remember when in the last Torah portion, him and Lot, he went to Egypt and ended up in Pharaoh's house. And they took Sarai, and then Pharaoh told him to get out. But when he got out, he left with great possessions.
That's right.
Pharaoh gave him all kind of stuff. It says that, and then that's where Hagar came from as well. Y'all know Hagar wasn't in the picture until after they went into Egypt. Remember Hagar the Egyptian.
Right.
I know the Torah don't say that specifically, but if you read it, that's what's happening. That's what happened. Because it says he came out with great possession and servants and everything. One of the handmaids, the servant Hagar. Okay. So he comes. Oh, go ahead. You had some?
Oh, she needs this right here. I got it.
It was just saying in the end of the Torah portion, close to the end, it was saying that Hagar get Ishmael's wife from Egypt. So that's to show like that's what it from, because that's where she got the wife from.
That's it.
That's true.
That's it. That's it. So keeping that in mind, he comes out with great possessions. And then if y'all remember the Torah portion last week, he comes out with great possessions. And then him and Lot, they got into it. So what it says is that the herdsmen got into it, but y'all don't get caught up in the King James now. Now his people done got into it with Abraham people. So now that pulls them into it. Remember when we talked about this in the Mishpachah call? That if, let's say we have children and I'm marrying my son to one of y'all daughters or to somebody's daughter, and then the son and the daughter get into it, they having marriage issues, and how that can cause the parents to get into it. Because my son written to me like, man, she tripping, woo-ta-boo, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, for real. Oh, she wrong for that? He ain't telling the whole story. He's just saying only what she did wrong. So I'm buying it. Oh man, yeah, she wrong for that. And he say nothing that he did wrong, even though he did a whole lot wrong. But he you know how people are. Our human nature is to conveniently leave those things you doing out. That's human nature. While the daughter is going to her dad, man, he's tripping. He did boo. He did all this stuff. And that dad is like, oh that's wrong, man. He wrong for that. And she's conveniently leaving out all the stuff she was doing wrong. So then said homeboy come up to me, or I should say, come up to me. Oh man, yeah, you need to get your son, man. He tripping, man, cause he No, you need to get your daughter, cause woo. And so now the two parents are getting into it. That's how it was with Abraham and Lot. They herdsmen are getting into it with each other. That's their people. That's like the herdsmen. Those are their people. These are the people loyal to them. So now they getting into it with each other. And Abraham was showing a great example of how to move in a situation like that. He was like, man, look, I don't want to get into it with you. Look, man, we mishpaka. That's how we are. We got to take that and take notes on that. Nah, man, we mishpaka, man. Let's not do that, man. Let's not do that. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, look, I'll be the bigger man. Even though Lot came with Abraham was like, you know what, I'm gonna be the bigger man. Look, you pick where you want to go, and you can go there. Let's part ways, man. Look, cause our possessions is too great, and our people just not getting along with each other. It'll be better for us to just get some, let's just have some space. Pick where you want to go, and I'll go the opposite way. And it's crazy. Because Lot, he saw the city. He wanted to go back to the city, y'all. Why did Lot choose the city? Where did they come from? He was longing for that city life, man. He was like, man, this land stuff boring, man. Look at over there. They be having parties and everything over there. Be going on over there. They got the college. So he went to Sodom and Gomorrah. He like, man, I'll go over there. I got money too. I can go out there and ball out. Man, so you know what Lot did? He went out there to Sodom and Gomorrah and settled down. He got him, I bet you, he got him a mansion out. I bet you he got a. And Abraham chilling in the tents. He like, oh no. He stayed in the RV. He like, no. No. He stayed in the country. He stayed in the country, and he was through, wasn't he? He was through, and then what happened? Yahuwah ended up judging the city. He was outside the city, so Abraham was through, wasn't he? Yahuwah judged the city, and so he didn't let Lot get taken out, but Lot had to lose everything. Let's keep going. We're going to go back to that. I went ahead of myself. It's okay, though. I think we're on verse
3.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. That'll work.
Genesis chapter 18, verse 3. And he said, my Adon, if I have now found favor in your sight, do not pass on by your servant. Please let a little water be brought, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. And I will bring a morsel of bread, that you may refresh your hearts. After that you may pass by. Inasmuch as you have come to your servant, they said, do as you have said. So Abraham hurried into the tent to Sarah and said, quickly, make ready 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes. And Abraham ran to the herd, took a tender and thub calf, gave it
tender and thub what?
Calf.
Go ahead.
Gave it to the young man, and he hastened to prepare it.
He hastened to prepare it. So y'all know what that means, right? He took a calf and he killed it.
Right.
He killed it and processed it.
Right.
He had one of the young Akeem, he had one of the jungle to go and prepare it and hasten to make it happen. Because it was an offering to the Kodeshim, the Kodesh people, the Malakim, who were there. That was the way to be hospitable. Keep going.
Verse 8. So he took butter and milk.
Butter and what?
And milk.
Okay, keep going.
And the calf which he had prepared, and set it before them. And he stood by them under the tree as they ate.
Yep, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna do it. Yep.
You got a picture.
Oh man, this is not touchscreen. I forgot these Apple things, man. I'm gonna do it, y'all. I already talked to the whole council about this. To meet or not to meet? So that's some butter pecan gravy smothered lamb chop. No, I just made that up. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Nah, but there's been a big push of go vegan. There's been a big push for vegetarianism, veganism, things like that. You know, and in a lot of instances, you know, so this is what I'm not saying. I was going to say I'm not saying that it's bad to be vegan, but, you know, everything has a balance to it. And there can be an extreme on both sides. This is what I am saying. Yahuwah was not a vegetarian. We just read it, didn't we? Yahuwah was not a vegetarian. He was not a vegan. He was none of that. Yahuwah's people were not vegetarians. They were not vegans. They were none of that. That is not of our nation. That is not our custom. I know it's controversial. I know. So, how are you going to be in the priesthood as a vegan? How are you going to be in the priesthood as a vegetarian? For real? This is a priesthood. This is an order, a priesthood. You have to eat portion of the sin offering. A portion of that goes to the priest, right? It's not an option of whether the priest have to eat the portions of the sin offering. The peace offering, the priest eat a portion of that is set apart for the priest. The Pesach, all of Yasharel is supposed to partake of the Pesach. That is meat.
That's right.
The Pesach lamb. How you going to be a vegan and an Israelite? Caleb, agree with me. You feel me? Caleb, how you gonna be a vegan and an Israelite? I mean, he don't even have words to express how crazy that is to even think that way. So we're gonna go back to Bereshiyt chapter 1 because one of the big things, well, there's a big, anybody heard about the like this movement with the OASP book? Okay, that's through. I was just wondering if anybody heard of it. Y'all probably will end up hearing about it soon if you haven't, because it's kind of moving, it's kind of, gaining ground. It's this whole doctrine that you're supposed to be vegan as an Israelite. People turning this into a whole doctrine now. But it's just it's one of those things that you'll if you're online, if you're on Facebook, you'll hear it, So you'll know when you hear, you'll know what it is. You might have heard it, just didn't know what it was. But this is a post I just saw just from yesterday. I'll just share. This is the type of stuff they'll say. So it said, he was talking to Cody on Facebook. He says, since eating any dead animal is not through, even those that you think you're permitted to eat from Leviticus 11 to Deuteronomy 14, you're really not supposed to be eating. Without fellow vehicle that's probably a typo. Without the priesthood, there's absolutely no provision to be eating anything that you think you can eat from Leviticus 11 to Deuteronomy 14. It's not true. Since Mashiach came to do away with the law of sacrifice, that's what. So he was already messed up right there. This is an Israelite too. There's absolutely no provision to be wrapping your lips around the carcass of any dead animal. Okay. So.
Did you go in on it?
Oh nah, man. Nah, man. Those days are long different. So, was Adam and Eve vegetarians?
I would say. Yes.
I always thought they were, but the scriptures never said that. The scriptures never said that. I'm just saying. The scriptures never said that. Let's read them. Bereshiyt 1. I put it on the screen so we can read it together. So Elohim created man in his own image. Elohim created man in his own image, and Yahuwah ain't no vegetarian. In the image of Elohim, he created him male and female, and he created them. Then Elohim baruched them, and Elohim said to them, look what Elohim said to them now. Be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth, subdue it, that's kabosh. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves on the earths. Now listen, just hear me out, because he said that first. Then it goes right into, I give you every herb as food. So for those two to be together like that leads me to the conclusion that having dominion over the animals, a part of that is killing and eating them. Think about it. What happened when Yahusha came under arrest? One of the first things he did, he ran into one. Look what the first thing that Yahuwah told Adam: had dominion over the fish of the sea. What was one of the first things Yahusha did when he was on his ministry, man? He saw one of the Akim over there, man, the Yahudim fishing. He told him, man, put your net over there. And he showed the Akim how to go ahead and kill a whole bunch. He pulled up about a net full of fish.
Right. He was pescatarian.
That's dominion over the fish of the sea, though.
God, that's right.
Yahusha wasn't no vegetarian.
Right. He ate fish too.
Yeah. So there's nothing that ever said that Adam and Eve was vegetarian in the scriptures. Now this is the thing. Yeah, down the road, yeah. But the point is that, let's say Adam and Eve are vegetarian. Let's say that. That would literally make Adam and Kawah the only people in the scriptures. Out of all the scriptures, out of all the 66 books, and even going into the Apocrypha, Pseudepigrapha, everything, that were vegetarian. As far as Kodesh, I'm talking about the Kodesh people, like the prophets, the prophets, the kings, the patriarchs, the apostles, Yahusha, Yahuwah. Out of all of them, Adam and Eve would have been the only ones that were vegetarian. Yeah, go ahead.
So this is just to support what you said here. So that's Bereshiyt 1:28. Then Elohim blessed them. Elohim said to them, be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, over every living thing that moves on the earth. Bereshiyt chapter 9. So Elohim blessed Noach and his sons and said to them, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be on every beast of the earth, on every bird of the air, on all that move on the earth, and on the fish of the sea that are given into your hands. So y'all see the comparison. This is I'm going back to Bereshiyt 1, verse 29. And Alua said, see, I have given you every herb that yields seed, which is on the face of the earth, and every tree whose fruit yields seeds. To you it shall be food. So this is going back to Bereshiyt 9, verse 3. Every move. So you said, before I read that, you said those two verses are connected. This is how they're connected. So I'm going to go back and read halfway through 2. So he's like, on every, I've given you dominion, every beast of the earth, on every bird of the air, on everything that moves on the earth, and all the fish of the sea. They are given into your hand. Every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. I have given you all things, even as the green herbs. But you should not eat flesh with its life in it, that is its blood. And then you can keep reading. There's a direct parallel between Bereshiyt 1 and Bereshiyt 9. And just as one more piece of evidence, and I'm gonna just pass it back to you. Bereshiyt chapter 4. It says this about, we know Cain and Abel. Now Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain and said, I have acquired a man from Alua. Then she bore again, this time her brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in the process of time, it came to pass. Let me read that. Go back to verse 2. Then she bore again, this time his brother Abel. Abel was a keeper of sheep. Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought an offering of fruit from the ground to Alua. Abel also brought of the firstborn of his flock and of their fat. Where would Abel have learned to kill an animal from? Wouldn't it have been Adam?
Y'all got to keep in mind what kabosh means. When Yahuwah says subdue things, kabosh, that's kabosh. That means to kill, to crush, to subdue, to crush, to trample on, to tread on underfoot. That's why it was such a big deal when he let the serpent come and deceive Kawah. That's why Adam was judged for that too. Yeah. So I mean, even when Adam and Kawah had even Bridget brought up a second ago, even when Adam and Eve, Adam and Kawah sinned, the first thing Yahuwah did was kill the animal and cover them with it, with skins. Sacrifice. So y'all, listen, y'all. This stuff is way more than what we always. It's way more than what we thought in reading this stuff in the church. There's way more to this. In Eden, y'all, Eden was Kodesh. Eden was set apart. But outside of Eden, y'all, there was still things that happened. Outside of Eden was the Kodesh place that was stewed, that was protected, that had the tree of life, things like that. But outside the gates, that's a whole different story. That's a whole different story. Yahuwah made a new heaven and a new earth. What was the verse in Genesis 9? I want everybody to go there and read that. Go read that. I want you to read that, but now, Yahoo. Bereshiyt 9, verse 1.
Yes, sir.
You said verse 1?
1 through 4? Or 1 through 3?
Yeah, do 1 through 3. Yeah, listen, yeah. Because see, this is let me paint this is why this is so significant. Because this goes back to what I was saying. Adam and Eve was a new heaven and a new earth.
Right.
You already there. Noah was he was an Adam.
Right.
It was a new heaven and a new earth. Yahuwah had destroyed everything and was starting all over with Noah. And so there was a new heaven and a new earth. Now they're getting off the ark. About to get off the ark, I believe, yeah. And there's a new heaven and a new earth now. Yahuwah saying, okay, to you I'm giving the dominion, Noah. To you I'm giving the dominion. Have dominion over the earth, etc., etc. Be fruitful, multiply. All right, let's read it. Verse 1.
Genesis chapter 9, verse 1. So Alua blessed Noach and his sons and said to them, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be on every beast of the earth, on every bird of the air, on all that move on the earth, and on all the fish of the sea. They are given into your hand.
They are what?
Given into your hand.
Dominion over the animal kingdom. Just like Adam and Eve. Noach is a new Adam and a new, in a sense, a new Adam. Keep going, verse 3.
Verse 3. Every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. I have given you all things, even as the green herb.
Even as the green herb. Just like Adam and Eve. That's what I'm saying. The same pattern, it's a circle. The same pattern over and over again. The same thing happened with the Israelites. When Yahuwah made a new heaven and a new earth out of the Israelites, when they were pulled out of Mitzrayim, Yahuwah destroyed Egypt, who had the dominion. Egypt had the dominion over the Eretz. Yahuwah destroyed them. And then Israel came out as a nation, and now Israel had the dominion, right? And then the first thing that Yahuwah did was, one of the first things he did was he rained down quail from the Shamayim.
Right.
Dominion over the birds of the air. And they ate it to the full. Go ahead.
Even coming out, Pesach was lamb and green herbs.
Bitter herbs and lamb. That's it. That's it. So I want to bring this out because I know that, well, now it's like, well, what about the health benefits? So this is the thing. What I think a lot of stuff is getting blamed on me. Well, there's more to it than that. I'm having health problems, man, because I need to go vegan. When really, what it is you need to stop eating all them sweets. Mm-hmm. You drink sodas every day. You eating candy. You eating Skittles. You eating ice cream, and you saying you need to go vegan for better health. A lot of it is you just not drinking a lot of water. You drink soda all the time. You barely drinking water. And you said you need to go vegan for better health. A lot of it is that you're just not eating vegetables at all.
Right.
Or fruit. Well, it's healthier being vegan. Is it? Who told you that?
Right.
Well, that's what they said on YouTube. Everybody I know, the people I know that lived the longest, the people who lived the longest that I've ever known, they all were not, none of them were vegans. None of them. I actually knew of a vegan. I ain't know him personally. But anybody know who Ben Ami is?
Khan, yep. I heard of it.
So Ben Ami was so there's a sect of Israelites, Hebrews that are in Israel. They're called, I forgot what they call them. So
Beta Israel?
not them. No, those are Jews, like Judaism. But no, these are people. This is a dude from Chicago.
Ben Ami, the one wearing the white
Yeah.
all the time? Yeah, Khan, right.
And they live in Dimona. They call it the Village of Peace.
Yeah.
And they were all vegans.
That's right, yeah.
They all the whole community, like 3,000 people. And they were huge on that, not eating meat, vegans only. They were big. It was like a whole doctrine for them. Now, man, he passed at 75. But Big Mama, my great grandmother lived, she was almost 100, and she ate unclean meats and everything. She was not in the truth. She ate everything and lived almost 100. I think she might have been like 98. And I'm talking about, this is the thing about Ben Ami. That's why I was surprised when he passed, because he was big on health, big on veganism. Was loud about that. So I was surprised on that one. What about what's his name? The other guy who was big on veganism. That everybody know about him. Dr. Sebi told I, y'all through. Super health man. Super health man. He passed pretty young. He wasn't that old. He might have been in the 70s. People say they took him out. You know, that's very possible. Cause does anybody know any vegans that lived over 100? At least over 100. I mean, I don't. But you don't know many, none of us know many people who live that long anyway nowadays. But I'm just thinking about the people that did know that lived that long. What's his name? Mr. Overton. He right here in Austin, he was like 116. And he ate unclean meats. He was not in the truth. Yeah. He would joke about it. Because people would be like, man, what is the secret? And just make sure you drink a lot and smoke. You just enjoy life. He would be joking like that. But he was a World War II vet, you know, things like that, man. He one of the people who lived the longest, and he was about to break records. Hebrew, man. Straight Hebrew. So all I'm saying by bringing it up, I'm not so there's health. Now let me get on the other side. There's a lot of health benefits by going vegan or vegetarian for a time. You know, whenever the Most High might say for you to do that as a fast. The Most High might have you to do things like that because of deficiencies you might have or because of things He's doing with you. So I'm not saying to never do that ever. But what I'm going against is this thing that vegan is the way to go, and that you shouldn't eat meat, and that you're more ruachal. If you go vegan, you'll hear from the Most High better. That stuff is not true. Stuff is not true, man. Yeah, like the Gnostics thing. That's where that stuff is coming from. Also, have you ever, this is for the men, have you ever heard of a vegan boxer? Have you ever heard of a vegan MMA player? MMA fighter? Have you ever heard of a vegan tailback in the NFL? You know why? Because when you don't eat meat, it makes you weak. I experienced it firsthand. I was trying to go vegetarian. Had an eye quiet. I was trying to go vegetarian, y'all. I went vegetarian for 7 months. 7 months. So what I did the Most High had me go on a fast. And then at the end of the fast, I didn't have a taste for meat anymore, and so I ended up not eating meat and I tried to go full vegetarian. And but my plan was, I'm gonna eat the Pesach lamb though. So that's why it was 7 months, because then Pesach came. I wasn't gonna not eat the Pesach though. Right. That's a commandment. So, but I did all the way until Pesach. But this is what I noticed. The first, because this is, so the vegans, they go hard like, no, you can get everything that you need. That's a myth that you can get all the protein you need from vegetables. From protein, you can get it from beans. There's different things you can eat that'll give you the same protein as meat. Anything that you could get from meat, you can get through vegetables. They preach it hard. And I bought it, boy. I was like, yeah, for real. So I was doing all that. I thought I was through, you know what I'm saying? But then after about a month, you be through at first. I'll say once we hit about month 5 though, man, I started noticing my strength not being there. Because I was very active and working out, go play. I used to go hoop like 3 times a week at that time. And I was always, so my strength in basketball, because I'm not the basketball out like that. I'm sure, and I was always really strong though, especially back then. This was a while ago. You know, and so my strength was my strength. I wasn't hopping and dunking on people. I wasn't busting threes all night. My strength in basketball was my strength. I'll be in the paint. I'm throwing elbows. I'm getting rebounds on boys. I'm banging with boys. You know what I'm saying? And I had pride in that. Righteous pride, though, not like arrogance. And so I noticed after about month 5, I be digging in the paint, going in, and man, these youngsters start being able to bang me around, man. I'm like, oh, snap. I used to kind of, y'all know when you playing basketball and you boxing in for a rebound, and you can kind of do like that and then get the rebound. I'm trying to do like that. I feel like I'm hitting a brick wall. I'm like, oh, snap. Man, what's going on? Falling down all on the court. Like, man, this is trash, man. What's going on, man? But I literally, it's like my strength was it was an oomph that you lose, man. That's why you will never see nobody in no contact sports being no vegetarian. You would never see. Matter of fact, they eat extra meat. They eat extra meat because that's where your strength comes from. That's why the priests, oh no, they ate meat. That's why the Yahudim, the people of Yahuwah, oh no, they ate meat. It's like a sacrifice, y'all. When you offer up an offering, when you offer up a sacrifice, there's an ascension connected to that, right? That's why they call it the Olah offering. Killing an animal and offering it to Yahuwah, there's an ascension associated to that. They call it a whole burnt offering or an Olah, an ascending offering. An ascending offering is when Yahuwah consumes the entire sacrifice. When you kill an animal and you eat it yourself, it gives you strength, y'all. It gives you power. So it's like the death of that animal causes you to ascend in a sense. It's like a sacrifice. Y'all get what I'm saying? It's like a sacrifice, almost like a sacrifice for yourself. Y'all, so the word for, I didn't have a slide for this, so y'all picture this. The word for Ish is Aleph, Uwa, Sheen. Let me spit over here. Can I squeeze over there? I squeeze right there. Nah, y'all right, grandma through. All right. So Aleph, something like that. Uwa. Did I do that right? That's a yo. Oh, that's what I meant, yo. My bad, I said it wrong. Aleph, yo, and Sheen. I'm talking about Ish. Sheen. Can y'all see that? We don't got no better markers. Let me see this other one better. Let me see this one better. All these markers out, man. You know, EB Academy, they make use of these things. Oh, man, this one out too. Well, no, it's through. We through. It's through enough. Can everybody see that? So that's the word for Ish. Man. Husband. A man is a strong leader who does what? The Yod? Who works by separating, by cutting. This also, the Sheen is also teeth. By cutting, crushing, consuming. Ish is a strong leader who works by sacrificing. Y'all remember when I talked about that a while ago? About 6 months ago? A ish is one who sacrifices. That's why Isha is an offering of fire made by Yahuwah. Or an offering of fire, sweet aroma to Yahuwah. Isha. So even the very word for ish. All right, this is gonna be. It's gonna be an inch. You know. The very breakdown for ish, for a man, is it someone who kills and eats, who cuts, who sacrifices, and consumes. That's a ish. Y'all ever met like some vegans? You know what I'm saying? Y'all ever met like? It's kind of like this. I'm vegan. It's kind of like that type of thing. Y'all ever met? Yeah, ain't met nobody with it. Man, look. Like long term, some people who are long term vegans, who are dudes. It's like a connotation. It's like a stereotype that it's like they're weak. Yeah, I'm vegan. That type of thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's exceptions, but I'm just going off of just stereotypically what you see, generally speaking. Maybe because we in Austin, you know. But that's kind of, you know. It'd be like, you want this steak? No, I'm vegan. And it just comes off as soft, like weak. Like a dude come up and say he vegan, it's like, oh yeah, man, he better, man, yeah, I wouldn't have no problems whooping him if I had to, boy. I'm just joking, y'all. I'm just joking. But another thing is, another aspect is. Vegan is big amongst witches. Veganism is huge amongst witches, man. Cause me and the Matt, we be liking to go to some of the little vegan places in Austin. We'll go to this little place because they be having the thube smoothies up in there. You know the vegan places be having the organic smoothies. They be having all that stuff with the sea moss in there. And every time we go there, there'd be like 2-3 witches in there. Every time, I'm like, man, why there be so many witches? It'd be a witch working there too. One time, me and the Met, we came to this one vegan spot that we liked. When we had just came back from Los Angeles, I believe. We had just came back from California. We just got off the airport, so we were in that part of, we weren't really in that part, but we weren't that far from that part of Austin. So we went to one of our vegan places we liked. It was this witch lady working there, and she was like, there's just something about y'all. It's an aura I feel from y'all. I just want to let you know that I really like the vibes. We was like, okay. When you try to smile, so you won't let you can't, it still look fake, but you try. You trying to be nice. Okay. Yeah, all right. Is the food ready yet, though? Every single time, veganism is big amongst witches. So again, that's just because it's big amongst one group don't mean that you shouldn't do it. But I'm just saying that there's a thing there, ruachlim. So a lot of Mitzrites, a lot of people in Mitzrayim, they wouldn't kill bulls and stuff like that. They wouldn't do that. So we were an abomination to them because we ate meat. So a lot of times the veganism be rooted in animal worship, animism, and things like that. Yeah, we were an abomination to the Egyptians back in the scriptures because we ate bulls. We ate cows. They worshiped those things. I actually believe Yahuwah did that on purpose. I'm pretty sure he did because one of the first things he made Aharon do, in order for you to be inducted into the first part of your initiation into the priesthood, you got to kill a bull. Yeah, I know you grew up in Mitzrayim where they worship. Yeah, no, you got to kill the bull. That's the initiation. I know, y'all. I know this is a little different discussion, but I just don't want to get misunderstood because it's important to eat vegetables. It's important to eat fruit, and at times it may be a need to, or you need to go without meat, especially during a fast. Absolutely, that's not what I'm talking about. But there is no way you can be a Israelite and be a full-time vegan, though. Hallelujah. All right. Let's take a look at some things real quick. So, all right. Oh, yeah. Let's look at verse 30, too. This was the different. Oh, yeah. That's what I meant to say. And the Lord said, see, I have given you every herb that yields seed, which is on the face of all the earth, and every tree whose fruit yields seed. To you it shall be for food. So it's this verse that makes people be like, see, Adam and Eve were vegetarians. But look at this. Verse 30, also to every beast of the earth, to every bird of the air, and to everything that creeps on the earth, in which there is life, I have given every green herb for food. Oh, so the lion, that means all the animals and the birds are vegan too then, huh? No, man. No. Yep. There is nothing wrong with eating meat, y'all. That's the ways of the Yahudim. That's the ways of our people. Now, one thing we do got to keep in mind is that in Babylon, because they don't process the meat right, because the stuff is, a lot of the stuff is defiled. That's another factor we got to keep in mind. A lot of the meat ain't through. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm not saying is go to Mickey D's tonight and enjoy you a triple quarter pounder. Triple quarter pounder with the Big Mac sauce on there. Extra Big Mac sauce. You got the Big Mac sauce dripping up off the burger, then put some of Big Mac sauce on there. That meat is not through. That is not what Abraham, they had the Kodesh meat, man. They killed it right. They did what they were supposed to do. So at least when you do eat meat, do your best to have the meat that's sourced through, that's grass-fed, even organic if you can. Again, I'm not saying that's perfect either, but it ain't. At least it ain't no Mickey D's pink slime meat that they disinfected with all kind of stuff and added all kind of stuff in there. Because a lot of they put antibiotics, they inject stuff in them so they can grow faster. It's not through. The meat is not through, y'all. It's defiled. So farmers market is a through idea too. Farmers markets, you usually will have farms who will come with meat that they process on their own. So we went to a place that we visited called Amber Oaks, and we all went to that. And one of the farms that we visited was a place called Amber Oaks, where they process their own chickens. We actually walked with. They showed us how they do everything. They toured us around the whole farm, big farm, several acres, and showed us how everything is grass fed. Show us how they do all that stuff. And we didn't know that, but lo and behold, the farmers market where Ahmet ended up really flourishing with selling the cakes. They be there every week. Amber Oaks, the same people, we know them. We got a relationship right with them now. They even looking at. They wanted to work with Yayas, work with more Emmanuel with Yayas on seeing about using their meat and stuff like that for sausages. But no, eating meat is through, y'all. Matter of fact, as an Israelite, you need to eat meat. Now, you need to eat fruits and vegetables too. And eating meat every day is probably not the best thing to do either. It's about the balance with everything. You know what I'm saying? It's about a balance with everything. But Didn't Abraham get the butter and milk too? Oh, but I thought you weren't supposed to eat the cow milk. I thought the vegans say the cow milk is so bad for you. That's for baby cows. I'm telling you, man, this word is resonating with his ruach, man. But I thought the milk was bad. You weren't supposed to drink the milk. I know it's debate on whether it was a cow. The calf could have been goat, something like that, but it's still animal's milk. It ain't no human milk. It wasn't no oat milk. It wasn't no almond milk. I'm just saying. Now, but again, the milk that you get from the store is not the milk that you would. So again, farmers, Texas don't really let they be having things, but unpasteurized milk actually is the Thubis milk. They do. They must do it on the low. I didn't know that. I have to holler at them on that. Yeah, pasteurized. I can't really do like the store-bought milk. I don't do that. Y'all know that statistically Hebrews can't do store-bought milk. Hebrews are lactose intolerant. That's what they call it. Label it as lactose intolerant. We just can't drink y'all milk because y'all process it and do all that stuff to it. And then we think that we can't drink milk when really it's just the way they process it. If you actually do the unpasteurized milk, I can do unpasteurized milk. I'm through. Unpasteurized milk is just milk that comes straight from the animal. Straight from the animal. Boom, boom, boom. That's what Big Mama and them on the farm, that's what they did. Boom, 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 boom. And that's your milk right there. It tastes way better. Yeah, it's thicker. It lasts longer. Like the store-bought milk, it'll go bad in like a week. The unpasteurized stuff, you can stay in there for a while. It don't go bad nowhere near as long, as fast. It tastes way better. And it don't have you thrown off, man. Have you all jacked up? Jacked up for real. Nah, man, we ain't come up with that pasteurization stuff. That's a custom of the heathen right there. We ain't never did that. Leviticus chapter 3, verse 11, it says, "And the priest shall burn them on the altar as an offering made by fire to." So when you offer a sacrifice to Yahuwah, he consumes that. That's as food to him. He consumes the sacrifice. If it's one that's acceptable to him, he'll consume it. That's what you want. Yahuwah eats meat. I'm not going to read the whole thing for time, but in Leviticus 10, this is when Moshe got mad at Eleazar because they did not eat the sin offering. This was after Nadab and Abihu offered up strange fire and the Most High killed them. And then they were supposed to eat the meat of the sin offering. And Moshe was angry at him about that. Moshe had made careful inquiry about the goat of the sin offering, and there it was burned up. And he was angry with Eleazar and Ithamar, the sons of Aharon, who were left, saying, "Why have you not eaten the sin offering?" Because as a priest, you have to eat meat. You eating meat is a sign of the dominion over the animal kingdom. It's a sign of the dominion over the nations. Dominion over the Eretz. Romaim, or the book of Romans chapter 14. Receive one who is? Receive one who is? Let's see who the weak one is. Receive one who is weak in the MU now, but not to disputes over doubtful things. For one believes he may eat all things, but he who is eats only vegetables. Oh, man. I'm just reading what the scriptures say. I'm just reading what the scriptures say, man. They dealt with that in the Brit Hadashah. They had people, the Gnostics and stuff, who came with these doctrines and was, that you shouldn't eat meat and was going in. They would go in on people for things like that. And, Paul, he was dealing with those things, dealing with those issues and writing letters about them. Luke chapter 24, this is Yahusha. When he had said this, he showed them his hands and his feet. That's when Yahusha had resurrected. This is after his resurrection, and he showed himself to his people. He showed him his hands and his feet. Remember doubting Timothy? This is when he was with doubting Timothy. Thomas, doubting Thomas. Verse 41, but while they still did not believe for joy and marveled, he said to them, have you any food here? So they gave him a piece of and some honeycomb. That was up for debate too. And some honeycomb, and he took it and did what? Ate it in their presence. That's Yahusha, talking about Yahusha. Yeah, Yahusha ate meat. Man, y'all remember when the little youngster came and he had a piece of bread and then he had the fish and then Yahusha prayed to the Most High and multiplied it and fed the 5,000. Y'all know that's Jubilee. He fed the 5,000 with the meat, with the fish and the bread. That's Jubilee. Dominion over the fish. Fish sandwiches, man. Boys was having them po' boys out there, man. Man, he made them so much fish. Wasn't it a lot left over? He told them, man, only the bread was left over, huh? Go to 1 Timothy chapter 4 real quick. We're just going to read verse 1 through 5. Let's get it, but now Yahoo, 1 through 5.
First Timothy chapter 4, verse 1. Now the Ruach expressly says that. Let me get a new battery.
So why you doing that? So there was other civilizations who believed that they would kill things, and they believed that when they would kill those things, they would get like the power from what they would kill. There was a belief in some civilizations of that, and so they would kill things, and they believed there would be a transfer of power. I submit there's some validity in a sense to that, y'all. When it comes to food that you kill. When it comes to food that you kill and eat, you take on you take on the power of what you're killing and eating. These are all a lot of the stuff that we kill and eat are very strong, very like bulls, cows. You know what I'm saying? Goats and sheep, not so much. But deer, things like that. It's like you take it out. It makes you so much stronger as long as you add coupling that with exercise and things like that. It makes you so strong that bodybuilders they try to fake that by getting like protein. And if you ever got whey protein, look what's in there. The supplements and the protein. They put like a whole lot of like meat protein in there. They just powder it up, dry it out, and put it in there. So they try to make them even, they try to cheat and make them even stronger. And make shakes out of it. Y'all, listen here, y'all. How did David kill Goliath? David said he killed the bear and the lion first. See, could there have been a transfer of dominion, a transfer of power when he killed the Goliath? I submit to y'all that it is. Oh, you already there? Oh, you thinking like your dad? Oh, snap. Yeah. Because he already done put it out there, but when David killed Goliath, he didn't just kill him. He beheaded him and then held his head up. No, that's what, those ancient civilizations who believe that they took the power from that's the way they did that. That's the way they did that. Could he have been doing that as a sign that he is taking on the dominion and the power that those beings he killed once had? Because why did he cut his head off and then hold it and do all that? Like, if you killed him, you do. Oh, I pray you. It should have been, you know what I'm saying, then moving on. We won. Oh, yeah, we won. Oh, yeah. Then celebrate and move on. No, he ain't do that. Man. And after that, he was on a whole nother level. He was Saul's. David was killing his tens of thousands. This stuff wild, y'all. Okay, are we there? Oh, yeah. All right, let's go to verse, this is 1 through 5, let's get it.
1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1. Now the Ruach expressly says that in latter times some will depart from the faith, giving heed to deceiving Ruachs and doctrines of demons.
That's it.
Speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their own conscience seared with the hot iron.
That's basically what's happening with this OASP doctrine that's going on about this, that's coming out with this veganism stuff. Keep going, verse 3.
Forbidding to marry.
So he's giving you some examples of what these types of doctrines teach. Verse 3.
Forbidding to marry.
And what else?
And commanding to abstain from foods which Yahuwah created, to be received with thanksgiving by those who believe and know the truth.
Y'all see this? This is what's out there. This is Paul, the stuff that Paul was dealing with, the doctrines that he was dealing with in his day is the same thing happening today. You can go ahead and read verse 4. Go ahead. Verse 4 and 5.
For every creature of Yahuwah is through, and nothing is to be refused if it is received with thanksgiving. For it is sanctified by the word of Yahuwah and prayer.
So, verse 4, people in the church will use that to say you can eat the pork chop. But you notice in the next verse it says, for it is sanctified by the word. You know, the word in the New Testament, they're talking about Torah, because they didn't have and when you read in the New Testament, you got to realize they didn't have the New Testament at that time. They had Torah and Tanakh. That was their scriptures. It was pork sanctified by Torah to eat.
Negative.
No. That's something you can tell your Christian family members when they bring that up again. All right, let's go to Acts chapter 10. Let's keep it going. Acts chapter 10. We're almost done. It was a lot to cover today. Acts chapter 10. Y'all ready? All right, let's do verse 9 through 16.
Acts chapter 10, verse 9. The next day, as they went on their journey and drew near the city.
Oh, wait, is everybody there? I want everybody to go to this one. Oh, Acts chapter 10. Did I say Acts chapter 9? Okay, I did it right. Okay. Everybody there? Where your scripture at? Huh? All right. We'll talk later.
We're going to talk later.
Oh, man. Yeah, all right.
Con. Acts chapter 10, verse 9. The next day, as they went on their journey and drew near the city, Peter went up on the housetop to pray about the 6th hour.
So the housetop was so in a Israelite home. Do y'all remember when I showed y'all a picture of the Israelite home and y'all saw how they had the top area? So that's the housetop. A lot of times that'll be the place to a through prayer place and things like that. So he was at his prayer place. Let's keep going.
Verse 10. Then he became very hungry.
Wait, read verse 9 again.
Verse 9. The next day, as they went on their journey and drew near the city, Peter went up on the housetop to pray about the 6th hour.
About when?
The 6th hour.
What time is that? So y'all notice he's keeping the prayer times. Did y'all notice that?
God.
So Peter is in midday prayer right now. He's in midday prayer. So I just wanted to show y'all that real quick for y'all, because you know Yahuwah that's something that he has us to do, is to pray during the prayer times. Let's keep going.
Verse 10. Then he became very hungry and wanted to eat. But while they made ready, he fell into a trance and saw the Shamayim open, and an object like a great sheet bound at the 4 corners, descending to him and let down to the earth. In it were all kinds of 4-footed animals of the earth, wild beasts, creeping things, and birds of the air. And a voice came to him, "Rise, Peter, kill and eat."
Wait, hold on. You hear this? This is a vision he's having.
Right.
Told him to rise, kill, and eat. Because that's what a priest does. A ish.
Right.
Rise, kill, and eat. Keep going.
But Peter said, "Not so, Adonai, for I have never eaten anything uncommon or unclean." And a voice spoke to him again the
Wait,
second
say that again.
time.
I have never eaten anything what?
Common or unclean.
Keep going.
And a voice spoke to him again the second time. What Eluah has cleansed, you must not call common. This was done 3 times, and the object was taken up into heaven again.
So the sheet that was fastened on the 4 corners probably represented the Eretz and the Shamayim in a sense, because the scriptures talk about how the heavens are rolled up like a scroll. When a new heaven and a new earth, he's talking about how the heavens were rolled up like a scroll. I think it's in Revelation. So that basically represented the other nations on the earth. You know, the thing fastened by the 4 corners, the sheet. It says in English, the sheet. There were we know that a lot of those animals were unclean because of Peter's response. He said, "Man, no, Most High, I will never eat nothing unclean or common." Y'all know what the difference is between common and unclean? Who does not know what common means? Common food. Difference between common and unclean.
Common.
Who does not know? Okay. So, common, unclean food is food that Yahuwah said is unclean in Leviticus 11. The pork, catfish, shellfish, shrimps. That's unclean. A common food is food that is clean, but you still can't eat it for one reason or another. For example, food that died of itself, you cannot eat that. So that's common, considered common. Y'all get it? You know, there's other examples of food that's common, if that's from clean food that you can't eat because it was defiled somewhere. The scriptures say not to eat it. I think if it touches something dead, or if it touches a carcass, and you're not supposed to eat that, etc., etc. It said this was done 3. So this was a vision that Peter had got. All right. So when you read the rest of the chapter, you realize that this was because a lot of people will take. You got some? Okay. Because a lot of people will take this verse and say, "Oh man, you can eat unclean food." But you know, when you read the whole chapter, we're not going to do that for time. But when you read the whole chapter, you'll realize that, oh, Yahuwah gave him the revelation. He didn't know what it meant at first. But the Most High showed him that the revelation basically meant that you're supposed to, he didn't deal with Gentiles. And Yahuwah was showing him that you're supposed to, you can deal with that Yahuwah deals with the other nations too. When he says don't call something unclean something that I clean, it was a tradition for the Yahudim not to deal with the Gentile at all, not to sit down and eat at the table with them or nothing. And so that's what the vision was about. But I submit that there's more to it than even that. Because you know, when you get a vision from Yahuwah, there's always multiple layers to this now. It's always, you're talking about something from Yahuwah. It's never just one thing with it. Another layer to this, it was the Most High showing Peter about having dominion over the nations. He said, rise, kill, and eat. Right. They saw all those unclean animals. He said, rise, kill, and eat. Dominion. Because when you read it, let's just read this part. Let's skip down to verse 24. No, let's read verse 25.
Acts chapter 10, verse 25. As Peter was coming in, Cornelius met him and fell down at his feet and worshipped him.
Cornelius was a leader, a head he was a roche in Rome. He was very prominent, but yeah, he bowed down to Peter. This is showing dominion over the nations. He bowed down and showed his submission to Peter, a man of the Most High. Cornelius was thub in Yahuwah's sight. He was, because even though he was other, that's what Yahuwah was trying to show Peter. Like, man, there's some people of the other nations that are thub, even Romans that I'm with them. There's individuals, even of the Romans, who y'all hate, but there's individuals who are called by my name, though. That's what he was trying to show Peter. And so Cornelius, again, if you read the chapter, you know, he gave a lot to the Yahudim. He gave to them. He said he was a sacrificial person who gave and gave his alms to them, help the people, the Yahudim. He had a love for Yahuwah's people. And so the Most High was with him for that. Y'all, when it comes to the other nations, this is Malek Yahusha brought this out when we were in Canada, man. And it's real talk. Like, the way the Most High deals with the other nations is based on how they deal with us. The Most High judges us based off of the Torah. The Torah was given to us. But in a lot of ways, the way the Most High judges the other nations based on how they deal with us. That's why the mixed multitude who made it out of Mitzrayim, they were the ones who gave their possessions to the Israelites. Remember we talked about that a couple of years ago? The mixed multitude who made it in the kingdom, they made it. They made it into the wilderness. They made it out. They didn't get killed with the rest of the Mitzrites. They were the people who gave their possessions to the Israelites. When Yahuwah put favor in their sight. He told them he told the Israelites to go to every man, your neighbor, and ask them for their possessions. And then it says, and the Mitzrites gave the Israelites their possessions. And then right after that, literally the next verse, it says, didn't the mixed multitude come out with them? I think it might have been 1 or 2 verses later. The mixed multitude was not Pharaoh. Pharaoh was not a part of the mixed multitude. No, there were specific people in Egypt who were accounted for with the Israelites as the mixed multitude, and they were those who gave that position. It was because of that, the way they dealt with the Israelites. It was because they had ahava for the Israelites. So, nevertheless, it was about dominion over the nations. Rise, kill, and eat. All right. Bereshiyt 19, it's the last part. Let's get it. Verse 1. Yes, sir.
Genesis chapter 19, verse 1. Now the two Malachim came to Sodom in the evening, and Lot was sitting in the gate of Sodom. When Lot saw them,
Okay, now we're going back to what I was talking about in the beginning. I told you I went ahead of myself. Remember Abraham dwelling in tents, they split apart, right? Abraham and Lot. Lot went to the city. By him, probably he had a palace probably out there, man, in Sodom. It was chilling. Man, Lot was he was so comfortable in Sodom and Gomorrah. He even found him a little female out there, man. Female born and raised in Sodom. Born and raised in Sodom. And he took her and married her. He joined himself with the heathen. She probably was the next top model in Sodom. She probably did all kind of dirt growing up. But he said, no, I can change her. She's so beautiful. I can change her. And went on and got him an Isha out there. Lot's wife she wasn't from Ur. When Abraham left, it said, then Lot came with him. He ain't bring nobody with him. Nah, here's why he met her in Sodom and Gomorrah, y'all. He met her. She from Sodom and Gomorrah, y'all. Ain't no telling. Well, y'all say how wicked Sodom and Gomorrah is. Ain't no telling what kind of stuff she was into before he met her. And then he's like, man, I can change her. And settled down there. They lived there for years. I know it's kind of hard to see that because when you read the scriptures, especially the Torah, it's just snapshots. Like it literally read one chapter, Abraham was 75, and the next chapter, he 99. These are snapshots. They're not telling you about their whole life story. They're not. They just telling you certain points in their life. Like you would assume that Yahuwah visited Abraham every day. And then, cause some of y'all be wondering, man, why I got a visit. Last time I got a visitation, man, it's been a while, you know. It ain't real. We don't know if Abraham was getting visitations all the time. Right. It's just the time when he got the visitation. That's the time when those are the times in the Torah. What about the time between 75 and 99? We don't know. But my point is that this is years. Lot was in Sodom and Gomorrah for years. Because think about it. Lot went to Sodom and Gomorrah. There was a whole war that went down. Y'all remember that? Genesis 14, there was a whole war that went down. And Abraham had to get his people, 318 trained up in his house. And they pulled up on this, and they was able to deliver the Sodom and Gomorrahites up out of the hands of the people who had whooped them, because they had got whooped. Man, that's interesting, boy. You would have thought Lot would have learned then. That's interesting. I ain't think about that. He chose the city, and then he almost got killed, man. He chose the city, and then they went to war, and he got taken. And it took Abraham to have to pull up on him and deliver him from that. He went right back to Sodom and Gomorrah. You know why he went back to Sodom and Gomorrah? Well, ain't no way my wife ain't finna leave Sodom and Gomorrah, man. Man, my wife ain't finna leave, man. Man, we through now. It ain't even that much going on no more. Move back to Sodom and Gomorrah after all that happened. That was a judgment on Sodom and Gomorrah right there. During that war, when they got whooped. Their kings got overtaken. This is so crazy, y'all. Yahuwah literally saved Sodom and Gomorrah solely because Lot was there. That's why Yahuwah's amazing. That's why Abraham petitioned the Most High like that. When the Most High said, man, we finna deal with Sodom and Gomorrah. Well, hold on, Yahuwah, well, what if 50? Did you believe 50? Did you believe? That's the first number he threw out there. Did y'all notice that? Why didn't he say, what if 100? What if 20? He said, what if there's 50 righteous? Would you destroy the whole city? Because he knew that Yahuwah saved the whole Sodom and Gomorrah over because Lot was there. The first time. Abraham knew what he was doing. What about if there's 40? What about if there's 35? What about if there's 20? What about if there's 10? And the Most High was like, yeah, no, I wouldn't, you know, if there's anybody righteous there, I wouldn't destroy the righteous with the wicked there. The last numbers is what if there was 10 there? Commandments, righteous, because that's the number for righteousness. That's the number for obedience, for keeping the, for moving in order, moving in Torah, etc. And you would say, no, I wouldn't destroy the 10 if there was 10 righteous there. All right, let's read. Let's do it. We're almost done. Let's get through it.
Genesis chapter 19, verse 1. Now the two Malachim came to Sodom in the evening, and Lot was sitting in the gate of Sodom. When Lot saw them, he rose to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face towards the ground. And he said, "Hear now, my Adonai, please turn into your servant's house and spend the night."
Into your servant's tent?
My servant's house.
I told y'all. It's right here. Keep going.
And spend the night and wash your feet. Then you may rise early and go on your way. And they said, "No, but we will spend the night in the open square." But he insisted strongly. So they turned into him and entered his house. Then he made them a feast and baked unleavened bread, and they ate.
That's y'all already know. This is a unleavened bread. So when the Malach was with Abraham, he said, "I'll be back at the appointed time." That's Moed in Hebrew, y'all. That's probably surrounding around one of the feast days, maybe Pesach, who knows? Because when he comes here and he's with Lot, Lot's making him unleavened bread. Lot was righteous. He probably was keeping the commandments.
Right.
Yeah, come on. But during this week, you can, sheep or goats, of the sheep or the goats. That's it. I ain't thinking about that. That's it. And so, unleavened bread, he probably was a keeper of the commandments. He know that week he can't eat leaven. So he made him unleavened bread. We got food here, but we keep Torah here, so we can't eat leaven. Even Lot's wife. Oh, no, you can't. I know how y'all do it down here, but no, you with me now. Unleavened bread. She like, man. Keep going.
Verse 4. Now before they lay down, the men of the city, the men of Sodom, both old and young, all the people from every quarter surrounded the house. And they called to Lot and said to him, "Where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out so we may know them carnally." So Lot went out to them through the doorway, shut the door behind him, and said, "Please, my brethren, Do not do so wickedly. See now, I have 2 daughters who have not known a man. Please, let me bring them out to you, and you may do to them as you wish. Only do nothing to these men, since the reason they have come under the shadow of my roof.
Ahmed, did you want to go into about the door? Keep going.
And they said, stand back. Then they said, this one came in to stay here, and he keeps acting like a judge. Now we will deal worse with you than with them. So they pressed hard against the man Lot and came near to break down the door. But the men reached out their hands and pulled Lot into the house with them and shut the door. And they struck the men who were at the doorway of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they became weary trying to find the door.
So tell me what you were telling me about the revelation about the door.
Oh, yes. So it reminded me of the ark, right? When they went into the ark and it was the Most High who shut the door. So the Malachim, they shut the door to where they couldn't get in. So they were safe basically in the ark, in the house.
This is a picture of the ark. Like literally, they were coming to overtake, and the people of Sodom were they were done with Lot. They're about to go in on Lot too. And so they pulled Lot in, and did Lot close the door? They shut the door. And then they struck them with blindness, those outside the door. So they couldn't do nothing. So Lot and them were preserved in the house. Because that's where the protection is at, is in the house. He struck them with blindness to where they were hidden in plain sight, y'all. That's the ark, being hidden in plain sight. Let's keep going, verse 12.
Verse 12. Then the men said to Lot, have you anyone else here? Son-in-law, your sons, your daughters, and whomever you have in the city, take them out of this place. For we will destroy this place, because the outcry against them has grown.
Listen to this. Listen to this, to the grace here. They're like, Lot, do you have any other family here? Who's making it into the ark? Who's making it? Who's going to escape the judgment? Man, that means even though his wife was straight out of Sodom and Gomorrah, she'll make it on the ark. Through Lot, all his family are able to make it. Yahuwah made it to where all his family that he has acquired there can make it on the ark just on account of him, on account of his righteousness. Y'all see how this works? Keep going.
Verse 13, for we will destroy this place, because the outcry against them has grown great before the face of Yahuwah, and Yahuwah has sent us to destroy it. So Lot went out and spoke to his son-in-law, who had married his daughters.
Man, hold on. So that means that Lot, this is how long he was. Y'all got to keep in mind how long they were in Sodom and Gomorrah. He was so settled in Sodom and Gomorrah that he done had children. He done got married, had children. They done grew up and got married. He probably didn't think he would ever have to leave Sodom and Gomorrah. He was settled, y'all. He was through. He had multiple children. Keep going.
Verse 14, so Lot went out and spoke to his sons-in-law, who had married his daughters, and said, get up, get out of this place. For
so
Yahuwah.
Can you imagine Lot? So he settled down in Sodom and Gomorrah. He in the truth, he righteous, he knows Yahuwah. But you married somebody from Sodom and Gomorrah, so now, so what's the chances of your children gonna be in the truth? Right. Man, it's like 50-50. It's not a high chance. And you raised them up in Sodom and Gomorrah, so you trying to teach them righteousness, but they go and went and married dudes from Sodom and Gomorrah. And you knew these dudes they married wasn't in the truth, because look what happened when Lot was trying to tell them. Look. Go ahead and read it again.
Get up, get out of this place, for Yahuwah will destroy this city. But to his sons-in-law, he seemed to be joking.
Mocking again. Mocking. Mocking. Y'all, this was the word that came out earlier. Need to go to Tourland. Mocking. That's crazy, man. Going out there to the country, man. Let's say right here. But did it say to his daughters that he was joking? It was to the sons-in-laws, because they joined themselves with these men. They're going to be submitted to the men. That's why y'all got to be careful who y'all marry, man. Especially daughters. Keep going.
Verse 15. When the morning dawned, the Malachim urged Lot to hurry, saying, "Arise, take your wife and your 2 daughters who are here."
Your 2 daughters who what?
Are here.
Oh, so them ain't the same daughters who were married to the sons-in-laws, was it?
Right.
He said, hurry, come on, take your 2 daughters who are here. So when he says who are here, he's talking about daughters who are still under your father's house. That means they're virgins. That means they're not married. See, in ancient culture, your daughters who still live in the father's house, that means they're not married. That means they're virgins. Either in your father's house or they're married. That's how it goes in ancient culture. That's why he moved in order. He went to the sons-in-laws. He didn't go to the daughters. He went to the sons-in-laws and asked them to come on. But the Malachim were like, yeah, nah, you just got to go. Just take everybody who here, just come on. You just got to go. And some of y'all, that's how it's going to be. Some of y'all, that's how it's going to be, man. You just going to have to go. You just going to have to go. Lest you get caught up in it. Take who you got with you and come on. Keep going.
Verse 15. When the morning dawned, the Malachim urged Lot to hurry, saying, "Arise, take your wife and your 2 daughters who are here, lest you be consumed in the punishment of the city." And while he lingered, the men took hold of his hand.
And while he what?
While he lingered.
I'm telling you, this was hard for Lot, man. Man, you got daughters out there. And the son-in-law, I'm sure Lot was like, man, maybe I can talk them into it. They think I'm joking. They think I'm playing around. Let me just at least really try to drive home how serious this is. But it got to the point to where the Malaks was like, nah, you just got to go. Take who's with you. Come on, let's go now. And Lot still lingered to where he lingered so much to where the Malak had to literally grab him. This is how the grace that Yahuwah had for Lot. Man, this Abraham nephew, man, he's righteous. The other ones weren't righteous. Otherwise, the Malaks would have grabbed them too. Nah, he was just gonna let them come on behalf of Lot. But since they was joking, oh well, they wasn't righteous. They wasn't among the righteous. They don't count, Abraham. Nah, you said that will I kill the righteous with the wicked? I know that's your kinfolks in them. Cause that daughter, that would make it Abraham cousin too. But they don't count Abraham. They wasn't righteous. They was of Sodom and Gomorrah in their ways and their customs and in everything. This Feast of Unleavened Bread, they're not even keeping it. This Feast of Unleavened Bread, and they was out there at the club eating all kind of leaven. Keep going. So the men took hold of his hand, and who else's hand?
His wife's hand and the hands of his two daughters. Yahuwah being merciful to him.
Man, that was merciful, man. Woo!
And they brought him out and set him outside the city. So it came to pass when they had brought them outside that he said, escape for your life. Do not look behind you, nor stay anywhere in the plain. Escape to the mountains, lest you be destroyed.
So this is a pattern. The Most High showed me maybe about a year ago, it was a while ago, that there's going to be some sort of Sodom and Gomorrah-like judgment coming up on this place. Do y'all remember that? I talked to y'all about this. It was in a lesson a while ago. It was a while ago. It might have been a couple years ago. But that's the pattern. The Most High gets the righteous out first, though. He already got us leaving. We don't know who else is righteous in the city. We don't know. But I'll tell you this, if they are righteous, Yahuwah's going to have them leave. He's going to drive them. He's going to drive them to leave too. Go get some land somewhere, do something. And there will be a time, we know the words came out, that he's going to destroy this place. Words came out recently. I told y'all about this a couple of years ago, but it was even the word that came out last Shabbat. Prophecy broke out, and the Most High was like, I'm going to destroy this place. We don't know when, but I know there's going to be a solar eclipse right in ATX on Pesach. Oh, snap. The Sodom and Gomorrah destruction happened right around Pesach. That's unleavened bread. A lot of times when Yahuwah rolls out judgments, they're based off of his appointed time. The 70 AD sack of Jerusalem happened or surrounding Pesach. Yahuwah destroyed Mizraim on Pesach. The whole celebration of Pesach surrounds around when Yahuwah destroyed the nations, Egypt, and pulled us out. Just like he pulled Lot out and about to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. He pulled us out of Egypt like that and destroyed Mitzrayim, didn't he? Come out of her, my people, lest you partake in the plagues. Some of y'all will have spouses that are unrighteous and things like that, and they'll have the opportunity to come. But I kind of wonder. I'm like, man, I think Lot actually was. He should have left before that. After that first war that happened, that should have been an eye opener. But he probably didn't leave because his wife. Because his wife wasn't gonna leave Sodom and Gomorrah. He probably didn't leave because he had children out there. His children weren't gonna leave. They buried. Their husbands are joined. They love Sodom and Gomorrah, and they don't believe in Yahuwah like that. So if you say Yahuwah gonna destroy the place, and this place, y'all know Sodom and Gomorrah been there for hundreds of years. So anybody's talking about, oh, this place is gonna be destroyed tomorrow, that would just be very hard to believe. Sodom and Gomorrah was established there for hundreds of years, y'all. It was an established city. Put things into perspective. The United States only been a nation for what, 200 and something years? It's like, when did they become a nation, 17 something? I can't remember. 1776, so that's what, 230 years, 240? I don't know, I'm just trying to do the math. So that's 300 years? No, that ain't 300 years. That's like 200 and maybe 80, 250, 260. Oh, so now, that's crazy. Because if it was around 250, 260, that's around the same amount of time we was in Mitzrayim before we was pulled out. Very interesting. Very interesting. But nevertheless, this is important to talk about. I know we're going long, but this is serious. Because some of y'all are going to have to make the decision that Lot made. Let's keep going.
Verse 18. Then Lot said to them, please know, my Adoni, indeed now your servant has found favor in your sight, and you have increased your mercy which you have shown me by saving my life. But I cannot escape to the mountains, lest some evil overtake me and I die. See now, this city is near enough to flee to.
Skip to verse 24.
Verse 24. Then Yahuwah rained brimstone and fire on Sodom and Gomorrah.
Air strikes. Read it again.
Then Yahuwah rained brimstone and fire on Sodom and Gomorrah.
He did an airstrike on Sodom and Gomorrah, y'all.
From Yahuwah out of the Shamayim.
That's a straight airstrike. That is a straight up airstrike. See, this is the thing. See, America. See, I'm telling you, the nations be trying to be like Yahuwah, man. I'm telling you. It's like the Most High nuked Sodom and Gomorrah, y'all. He dispatched Malachim, and they came through and sacked that place, y'all. That is why the fallen ones tried to duplicate that, trying to be like Yahuwah, and they created these things called airplanes. We thought airplanes was used we thought that airplanes was an invention so that people can travel, huh? That probably was not the primary goal for having airplanes. The primary goal for airplanes was to have dominion as a warring vehicle that you can use to have a higher level of dominion over the Eretz and the Shamayim. So that you can dispatch those planes and you can rain down fire on cities if you have to. Airplanes was not created and invented just so we could travel and take vacations. That invention was a war invention, an invention of warfare so that nations can have some sort of dominion. That's why, where was a plane created at? Where country? Which country? It was created in the United States, that invention of the airplane. And when the U.S. took hold of that invention, the U.S. had dominion like never before. Dominion like never before. Because the U.S. was Babylon and was and had communication with the fallen ones. I'm telling you, that's why they was able to come up with the atom bomb. That type of technology like that, there ain't no way no human being could have came up with that. No way. Not possible. And they rained down fire and brimstone and totally destroyed the whole city of Nagasaki and another city. But there's a new heaven and a new earth.
Hallelujah.
They think they're doing something with drones now. They think they're on another level because the nations got drones. But them Malachim ain't no joke, man. We could dispatch a Malak that will rain down fire and brimstone and destroy a whole region. Let's keep going.
Verse 25. So he overthrew those cities, all the plain, all the inhabitants of the cities, and what grew on the ground. But his wife looked back.
What?
But his wife looked back
What did she
behind
do?
him.
She was behind him too, so she wasn't even keeping up.
Man.
She wasn't even keeping up, man. The Malak had grabbed his arms, said, "Come on," and grabbed it. It said the Malak grabbed his Isha, and she still wasn't keeping up. She was still lingering. So that was it. She became what?
A pillar of salt.
She wasn't ready to lead a city. She couldn't take it. She longed for Sodom and Gomorrah because see, they was living a lavish life in Sodom. They probably had a mansion. They probably, man, I'm telling you, man, Lot was rich. He had so much possessions that him and Abraham couldn't even stay together. They were rich. And so she couldn't leave all that. She couldn't do it. And then plus they left their children too. Some of y'all feeling that way. Some of y'all, there are people here, and I notice there are people who are here that are not done with Babylon yet. Some of y'all are straight up Lot's wife. They ain't never said what her name was. But some of y'all are straight up Lot's wife as far as mindset. That's why y'all ain't did nothing to move to really get on tour land like Maury Manu was talking about earlier. You lingering, man. You lingering. Most High just spoke last week. There's a longing that you have for Babylon. There's a longing it's in the pit of your being. Ahmed felt it. Ahmed felt it last night. The Most High had her feel it. A longing for this place, man. Even a like a nostalgia of wanting to just kind of be back in the world, be out of this walk, being back under the ways of Babylon, like a nostalgic feeling, a longing to be. Even though you would be, I mean, man, Babylon done so much to our people. A horrible bridegroom, a horrible master, a wicked, abusive master. Now you're under a Thub Ish. You have a Thub head now under Yahusha. Yahusha is a Thub head, a Thub Ish. But you still have an attachment to this place. You have not fully come out of her. Lingering, y'all, like Lot's wife, lingering. So much you could have got accomplished by now. So much you could be doing, but you lingering. You know who was Thub? Abraham. Abraham was in the country. He ain't had no issues, did he? He was just chilling and he saw the smoke rising. He like, man, that's tough. That's tough. In his tent, in safety. While Lot just made it from the skin of his brow because he made the wrong choices, man. He was trying to be in the city. He barely made it in his Ishai. He lost his Ishai and children over it. Abraham didn't though. He was through. He had everybody. He ain't lose nobody. He chose to dwell in tents. He chose to be in the country. Keep it simple. Serve Yahuwah. He ain't had no house. He's dwelling in tents. He in the RV. Keeping it simple. He's worried about his posterity. He's worried about inheritance. He's worried about serving Yahuwah. That's all he's concerned with. He had died to self, man. Abraham had died to self for real. That's what it takes to come out of her. Keep going. Let's keep going.
Verse 27. And Abraham went early in the morning to the place where he had stood before Yahuwah. Then he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah and toward all the land of the plain, and he saw, and behold, the smoke of the land which went up like the smoke of a furnace. And it came to pass, when Eluah destroyed the cities of the plain, that Eluah remembered Abraham, and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in which Lot had dwelt.
Man. Keep going.
Then Lot went up to Zoar.
No, we'll stop there. Never mind. We know that story. Let me, because I think you might gonna say what I'm about to say. You might. So, no, go ahead.
So, Lot was supposed to go up to the mountains at first. Walking it slow. All right. So Lot was supposed to go up to the mountains at first. Y'all saw that, right? So first he was supposed to leave, and he lingered. And then he was supposed to go to the mountains, and he said, please, no. So you know where his wife wound up looking back? When they went to that city that he begged to go to.
Oh, I thought about that. Oh, snap.
So he was like, yeah, I'll leave Austin, but please. Man, what's that place? Let me go to Elgin. But see, like every time he does that, he loses something. So first he lost his children. Then he lost his Isha. And then he became both daddy and granddaddy on the same night twice. So it just got worse and worse and worse because they lingered. That word came out today. The Most High was prophesying about lingering, taking your time, slow feet. The word came out to the Ark boys this week that some of them missed, but it was Yahuwah said something about how he say it? You wasting time. You lazy. You're comfortable in your laziness. You wasting time. That came out of my red prayer. We had to have an emergency meeting. I don't want to say it was an emergency. It was an emergency meeting. Yeah, it was an emergency meeting. We had to have an emergency meeting. But it's just interesting that every time Lot lingers, he loses something, and that's what's gonna happen to some of y'all. I don't personally like saying something like that, but man, that's what's gonna happen because I see it happening. Because there's a lingering. Yahuwah say, move, do this, and you slow. You slow. And to this day, it's still not done. You slow. It's warning after warning after warning, word after word after word, and it's in one ear, and you be like, man, that was a through word. You go home and do nothing. It's a lingering. You're going to lose more than what you got to lose. Did Lot make it out? Yeah. Lot made it out. He lost his Isha. Wound up losing his children, wound up having these two children that he daddy and granddaddy to. Look, man, when you look at it, man, Ammon and Moab, they were terrors. They were terrors when you go through the scriptures. Go to Exodus, go to Numbers, go to Deuteronomy. That wasn't the best. The Moabites, right? The harlots that came and ensnared Israel, Balak and Balaam, Moabites. That's not a great, Lot had a terrible day, though he was alive. Why live like this? Like Mushaw said, Abraham was in his tent looking at the smoke in Shalom, like, man, yeah, he had that palace. I'm in this tent, but I moved in obedience. Yeah, they staying in the city. Yeah, hey, man, look, they got the house. I'm in this tent, but at least it ain't on fire.
And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Lot now, man, had said some things over dinner with his wife. Man, Abraham, man, I love him, but he be tripping, man. He out there dwelling in tents, man. He be on some other stuff, man. Why he be living in them tents like that? Yeah, they just weird. I know, ha ha ha. They laughing and joking, and Abraham threw. Because y'all got to keep in mind, this was years. So it seemed like they had the last laugh. You talking years when they made the decision to split up. One of the reasons why they probably split up is because Lot was like, man, look here, man. Why are we dwelling in tents when we got all this money from the Egyptians? We can go in and get a house built or something, man. Dude, tripping. I love you though, but yeah, I don't agree with this. So now let's think about the Moabites. So okay, now listen. So now this is another starting all over again. Now you see how Yahuwah had spared Lot on behalf of Abraham. Now my question is, did Lot's lineage get lost? Did Lot's lineage? Because did Yahuwah forget about Lot? Because he made it. But what about his lineage? Because man, he married, like he said, like Morey said, he didn't. His wife gone. So he didn't have no. He had all daughters, and his son-in-laws. He had son-in-laws. They didn't make it. So his daughters did what they did, and so then he had sons from his daughters. Some perverse stuff, and it's interesting because that's another word that kept coming out is perversion. Moab and Ammon, and they were they became nations. Yahuwah made a nation out of them, and they were enemies of Israel since day one. They were always enemies of Israel. But there's a book in the scriptures called Ruth about a Moabitess named Ruth. Yahuwah didn't forget Lot. Lot wasn't forgotten. Lot wasn't forgot because you know what happened? Ruth got integrated into the lineage of the Yahudim, and it made that made the descendants of Dawid, which is us. Lot wasn't forgotten. Lot wasn't forgotten, and the story of Ruth was very similar to the story of Lot. What happened in the story of Lot? Abraham was in the city. Yahuwah gave a word to Abraham. Abraham heeded the word. He gave the word to Abraham to leave the city and to come to the land I set apart for him. And because Lot was on, his Lot's covering died. If y'all know the story, Lot's dad died. His covering died, just like Ruth, wasn't it? Do y'all know the story of Ruth? And maybe next week or so we can actually read it. But y'all know we wrapping it up now. But just to give you a summary, Ruth's covering died, right? Lot's covering died. Abraham said, I'm gonna follow Yahuwah. I'm going to the promised land. And Lot said, I'm going with you. Lot went with him. Ruth's covering died. But Ruth's husband died. His covering died. I know that for sure. And then Naomi said, I'm going back to the promised land. And what did Ruth say? I'm coming with you, just like Lot. She did just like her great granddaddy. Same thing. Then what happened? She went to the promised land and was preserved. She met one of the El Zakim. She married somebody who was the age of someone who could have been her father, which is very interesting because of the situation with Lot and his daughters. If y'all go and read the story of Ruth, the dude was surprised. He's like, man, you could got with one of these young people. Like, man, Hey, you know, that's stupid. You're righteous because you coming to me. I'm an old dude. You could have got one of these youngsters and you coming to me. And out of that union came Obed, then was Jesse after that, and then Dawid. And if you keep going further, you got Yahusha. So actually, Moabite is in many of y'all lineage. Lot was not for God, y'all. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I praise to the Most High.
Nothing else. Because he originally split from him. Then it wound up coming back to Abraham.
Man, bring it out, man. That's it.
So yeah, I was just saying that. So Lot's lineage was wound up going the way it should have stayed, because he split from Abraham because he was acting a donkey, man. He's just being a little spoiled brat because he had wealth and riches. So he split from Abraham, but because Ruth basically gave up her inheritance as a Moabite and joined back to Judah, which would have been from the stock of Abraham. So they wound up coming back together anyway. The separation was made, but then it's like, man, the disobedience became obedience. It just took hundreds of years to do so. And that's not I definitely don't want my seed to have to do something like that, man. Like, if he was just obedient, if he could have just stayed with Abraham and humbled himself, then what would have happened is he would have wound up in the same spot, because the lineage of Lot was consumed by the lineage of Abraham through Ruth and Boaz. Let me just say this last thing. Oh, go ahead.
Because Ruth, you're right. That's how you redeemed it. That is a great picture of a bloodline being redeemed, man. That's great. Because see, Ruth, she did everything that her forefather messed up on. So she was willing to be in a humble situation. She was willing to live in the tent if she had to. Remember, she slept in the threshing floor. She slept, that's like a barn. She was willing. She followed the people to eat this, to get the scraps, to gather everything. And she submitted to Naomi and heeded the wisdom of her elder. She did all the things that her forefather. That's how you redeem it. That's what redeeming the bloodline is about. You coming as an extension of your forefather, and you correcting all the things that they didn't do right. We went into captivity. We were scattered because we broke the commandments. So the way to redeem that is to come in as an extension of your lineage, to keep the commandments, to follow Yahuwah. Our lineage was full of ruach. So we might have been something, maybe it's perversion in the lineage, maybe it's alcoholism, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so because of that, you had a lineage that was plagued with all kind of curses and stuff. And then now, so you come to redeem the lineage, you come in and now you breaking that. You going through a ruka, you done got delivered from alcoholism. You got delivered from things like that. You got delivered from anger, from murder. You got delivered from addiction. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, so now, oh snap. You the first person in your bloodline in 8 generations who ain't dealt with no addiction. That's how you redeem your bloodline. You see what I'm saying? All praise to the Most High.
So you were pressing it on my heart just to say one more thing about this mockery, because it's probably a final warning or something. So with the mockery, I really hope everybody understood what that mockery is when a promise goes out. Lot, I didn't even realize it said that. Lot mocked at it. Mocked. He just drug, and the way that mocking showed itself was he drug his feet. That because his son-in-laws was like, yeah, he's just mocking, which kind of goes to the point because they thought he was mocking. What you were saying about how he probably may have been talking about Abraham like that, because his son-in-laws thought he was joking again. Man. This a funny guy, man. There go Lot doing his thing again. There he go mocking again. He laughing it up. But this word is serious, y'all. This thing is serious because the promise is there. And the cleansing of your bloodline, how big of a deal that is. Watch the, which teaching is it? There's Sukkot teaching that the Malakim did about the cleansing of the bloodline so you can understand what's in your bloodline. And that there's only one way for you to get this thing cleansed. There's only one way. Yahuwah made a covenant with them that we have the right to enter into so that the blood can be cleansed. But if you drag your feet, I promise y'all, if y'all have not started moving on the things Yahuwah told y'all to do, you out of time. I really don't know how you gonna make up the time. I don't think anybody can make up time, but you better not give your eyes no rest until you start moving like that.
I was just saying, if you're not out of time, you're gonna lose a lot. Because what we see is, in the story with Lot, had he been obedient, yes, from the beginning, he might not have lost some things. And so if you're not out of time, you might lose a lot. Situations where the Most High might have totally gave everything over to you. If you've been dragging your feet on it, now you might not get nearly as much as you thought you might have, or you might not get nothing at all. So you want to make sure that when you're moving in haste, you move in obedience. Especially if he give you a time frame or a window of time to do something. You need to make sure you take care of it in that time. Because not taking care of it in that time, it shows the lack of fear. It's like mocking Yahuwah because you're not moving in obedience to what he's telling you to do. So if you don't move in obedience, that's as if you feel like you won't have any consequences for it. You know.
Yeah, it's unbelief. It's a lack of belief, a lack of immunize. It's like in the back of your mind, you think it's just always gonna be through here. I know that's what a lot of them thought. They thought it was gonna always be through there, and it took years. It took a long time. But the Most High word is always gonna come to pass, even if it's 20 years down the road. Go ahead.
So, and last thing, just to show what Lot gave up. So when the Malakim came to Abraham, what'd he do? He got him, man. He went and got a cow, a goat, killed it, got some butter, got some milk, made a little soup. Malakim came to Lot. Matter of fact, Abraham gave the goat to his servant and said, "You kill this and bring it to us." Malakim came to Lot. He said, "Man, we got some bread." That Malakim went and gathered his household. They ain't get no servants. It don't read nothing about Lot having servants. What happened to Lot's servants? What happened to all his cattle? What happened to it? He lost it. That's what I would submit. He lost it. He didn't have it. Lot wasn't like, "Man, let me gather up my animals so that we can leave," or, "Oh, you a guest. Let me go make you a steak or something real quick with this unleavened bread." He was like, "We got bread." Abraham said, "I got goat." Can't have no cows in the city. The HOA gonna be all over Lot. He ain't got no cows. So he was like, "Man, we got." Abraham was like, "Man, we got goat, we got milk, we got butter. I got a servant. He gonna do this. We gonna wash your feet. We gonna do." Lot was like, "I got bread." So you risking. Don't gamble that, man, I'm gonna wait till next year and I'm gonna really do everything Yahuwah say. I'm gonna make a New Year's resolution. That's a foolish thing to say. But if you're like, "Man, I'm gonna wait and then I'm gonna really do it," you risking losing everything. Lot lost it. You know how many years between that moment and Ruth? Lot lost a lot of stuff, y'all. Don't wait to keep what the word of Yahuwah was. Don't be a sluggard and don't drag your feet on it. That's all I had on that.
Yeah, Lot probably sold all his cattle and stuff so he can get his mansion because they wasn't gonna let him have that cattle, and HOA wasn't gonna let him have them animals in the neighborhood. You can't have that in the neighborhood, man.
I just wanted to say, with the way that Lot was thinking and how they're saying with the mockery, it also could be him perverting the word based off of what he feels. It can be him taking and twisting what was originally supposed to be and making it fit into his own desires. So you just got to make sure that even with moving, you can't, if he telling you to get out of the city, or he telling you to leave a place, or he's telling you to do something, and then you take in your mind and you say, well, I got time, right? Or you say, well, he didn't say right now. You know, when you start like putting things extra on it, you're perverting and twisting what the Most High said. We know that he operates outside of time. And when he says to do something, he means do it, right? So it's like he was kind of perverting what was given to him too. He was perverting, like even in his mind, why he didn't need to go where the Most High told him from the beginning. It's like he made reasons and excuses, which could be his own thinking, because he said, lean not to your own understanding, all your ways I would direct your path, right? So he didn't even give Yahuwah the trust to let him direct the path. He only did what he wanted to do. So that still was perverting the word, because it still stands that he said, lean not to your own understanding. So every time we lean to our own understanding, it can be a fine line of perverting what Yahuwah has already said for us to do.
Yeah. All right, let's jump into the Q&A. We ain't got that much stuff. And so we got Shamar. He put Nasha equals Nasa, which equals to deceive. NASA. Oh, okay. Okay, I got you. Yeah, that's actually one of them controversial ones. For what? For what? Oh, yeah. It's in my bag. So yeah, so there is a Hebrew word that's like, it's a NASA. It's like noon something olive, but it means to lift up. So it's one of them controversial ones, because there is some, it does make sense, NASA, because that Nasha, yeah, has the, no, that don't have, no, it's just the,
that's
the
a sheen though.
Yeah, so it can be read as NASA though. That makes sense too.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hezekiah, doing praise and worship, Mushala was pretty much declaring verse 25 of Yeshayahu chapter 65. Okay.
Oh, snap.
Let me see, what does that say? Oh, yeah, the wolf and the lamb shall feed together. The lion shall eat straw like an ox, and dust shall be the serpent's food. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my Kodesh mountains, says Yahuwah. Khan, yeah. I didn't hear her say that, though.
Say it again.
God, the wolf and the lamb shall feed together. The lion shall eat straw like the ox, and dust shall be the serpent's food. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my Kodesh mountains, says Yahuwah. Yeah, I ain't hear her declare that.
She said something about how they can't speak negative against us anymore. And she was saying they can only speak blessings on us.
Oh, that's it. The serpent. Yeah,
Gotcha. That's great. That's a through point. Ima Oya, example of a new heaven and new earth. Like a business being taken over by another owner with new staff. None of the old employees work there anymore. That's a great example. Bethel, I have a prophecy I recorded this week during prayer where Yahuwah was talking about dominion. Hallelujah. Mikael Beniyahu. I just realized your name was Mikael. That's crazy. I guess I forgot. Beniyahu. Strong's H9949. Whoop-de-woo. Whoop-de-woo. Oh, I thought you was going for the Mortal Kombat theme. Okay, I got you. What's that mean? Ah, what's it mean? It mean whoop-de-woo? The H9949? Oh, it's a joke. Oh, you clever. Clever. I was like, what does H9949 mean? I was like, I didn't know they went that high, but I never looked. I never seen that high before. You are hilarious. There's no H9949, no? I bet there is. There's not. You looked. I was like, I didn't think so. That's that Yiddish number right there. Bethel. See, Lot's problem was he didn't pray and ask Yahuwah if he should even move. He didn't pray and ask Yahuwah if he should even move over there. Lean on his own understanding. Yeah. Genesis 4:4. And Abel also brought the firstborn of his sheep and his fatlings, and Yahuwah looks upon Abel and his gifts. So we talked about this already. But that's what I brought out earlier about the food and the meat. From Nathanael. If you think about it, when the other nations had us in captivity, they often killed us too. There have been recorded instances on Portuguese ships where they killed the slaves and ate them. If you have dominion, you can choose when your subjects die and live, as Yahuwah does with the people of the earth. Man, yeah. They acting like Yahuwah. Yahuwah said in Isaiah 26, he's like, life and death come from me. Life and death come from me. Light and darkness, Thub and Ra, all come from the hand of Yahuwah. Hezekiah from Radayahu. Yahuwah showed us a rainbow around the sun, which is a sign of judgment, which goes back to when he showed Noah the rainbow. That ties into us being a new heaven and new earth like Noah was as well.
Man,
and Sukkot.
That is it.
Yep.
Because think about this. The rainbow was spotted on the 8th day of Sukkot. The first day of Sukkot, it was a solar eclipse, y'all, on the sun. You can't make this up. The first day of Sukkot was a solar eclipse, y'all. And the 8th day, since the first and the last, beginning and the end, is when the rainbow was going around the sun.
Bethel said Rastafarians are vegan and skinny in reference to being weak, but they ain't soft though. They still look like you can beat them up easy though. It does. It still just look like you can. I don't know. I was trying not to laugh too. I was like, I don't know why. That's just a thought. It just happens naturally. We still try to make it, y'all. We still try to make it. We've not yet arrived. That's a thought for real. Deror Yahoo. Witches will also have an absurd. Witches will also have an absurd amount of plants in their house for some reason. They have dead herbs upside down on their walls.
Oh, for real?
I didn't know that.
Nah, that vegan stuff, because they be about trying to get in touch with nature. And now, also, told her about, I greatly appreciate it. Also, so remember that witches are also the African spirituality? That's witchcraft. So if you know anybody that's into the African spirituality, they're like, oh, I'm spiritual, and they're like, if they call themselves like goddesses or something like that, they're probably 9 times they're a witch. It's African spirituality. If they, let's say they got a Facebook and they have some stuff about, oh, I'm a goddess, you know, and I'm in tune with the. When it comes to the natural stuff, witches be all over that. So veganism, if you try to do natural births, a lot of the doulas and all that, that's what, man, they be, a lot of them be witches, unfortunate. Yeah. They be into all that stuff. And so it goes back to nature worship. It goes back to nature worship. A lot of them are of the, a lot of them worship the Egyptian, the African spirituality. A lot of them worship the allures of Egypt. That's why they be into that. It comes from Kemet. The black woman is God, all that type of stuff. And remember, the Egyptians thought that they looked at us as abominations because we killed and ate animals, because we killed and ate bulls and stuff like that. So that's where that come from. That's still witchcraft.
Yeah, our first doula, we tried to go natural with Zuri. She was a witch. She was a witch. Not Zuri, the doula, the one that tried to birth you out. It might be why Yahuwah didn't let that happen. I mean, the one that tried to like help you be birthed. That's what I mean to say.
Yeah, man, it's unfortunate, man. Cause it was this one doula I was looking at, cause she was a Hebrew who was trying to support your own, man. She was a whole witch. I was like, oh nah. In Austin.
So I said, so this is Colossians 2:16. So this is in reference to what Mushal was saying about, man, I don't know how to say, Aspe, that little movement going through the Hebrews right now, the vegan only movement. OASP. Colossians 2:16. So let no one judge you in food or in drink or regarding to festivals or new moon or Sabbath. See, I'm saying, I told this on the Mishpaka call. They went through this. Paul went through this, man. They would say, hey, man, if you eat this, then you not really astroplaning. You're not ruako if you eating food. And because all Hebrews would do at their feast days, and there's so much evidence for this, is they'd get together and eat and have drinks and laugh and rejoice at the majority of the feast days. That's why Paul's like, man, don't let nobody judge y'all for doing that. That's what he's saying. That's the whole book of Colossians is because of that. Gnostics. Hadassah, Isha Hadassah said, Deuteronomy 28:23, in your heavens which are over you shall, man, you italicize this? Wow. That's off the chain. And your heavens which are over your head shall be bronze, and the earth which is under you shall be iron. Speaking of the old heavens and earth, the word for bronze, H517, for real, is also sometimes used to mean fetters. And the word for iron, H1270, is also used to mean oppression. Yeah, I'm at 823. Fetters of oppression. Wow, that word for bronze can mean fetters, and that word for iron can mean oppression.
Israel is, so that goes back to the word that came out about the cars and us ruling with a rod of iron. Real quick, Revelation, I talked about this yesterday. Revelation chapter 2, verse... Revelation chapter 2, verse 27.
He shall rule them with a rod of iron.
I'll start with verse 26.
And he who overcomes and keeps my works unto the end, to him I will give power over the nations.
Say it again. Say it again.
And he who overcomes and keeps my works unto the end, to him I will give power over the nations.
So he who doesn't linger, huh?
Say
it again one more time.
And he who overcomes and keeps my works unto the end, to him I will give power over the nations.
And what's next?
He shall rule them with a rod of iron.
Rule who?
The nations.
Keep going. What is that? What does ruling with a rod of iron mean? Keep going.
They shall be dashed to pieces like the potter's vessels.
Do you know that Yahuwah is talking to one of the assemblies right here?
God.
He's talking to the assemblies right here, man. This is where we at. This is where we at because that lines up with the revelation of the cars. That we are prophesied to rule, but not only rule, but to rule with a rod of iron. You actually, man, I haven't got a chance to get with you. Even the dream you had where Malek was watching the Steelers, that was about us. So the Steelers was the mascot. The Steelers, that's based off of in Pittsburgh, the steel and iron industry. Yeah. Yeah. That's about dominion and us ruling with a rod of iron.
I doubt it.
Ruling with a rod of iron means you are subduing, you are kiboshing. That's why I said dashing the pot to pieces. You kiboshing. That's why the Most High gave Peter a dream. And he saw all the beasts. And he said, rise, kill, and eat. Peter understood what part of I really believe it was more to it than that. Because what happened later in Peter's life, this was in the beginning, you know, when Acts chapter 10, that was right after the awakening. That was like right after Yahushua's resurrection. Yeah. Because he still wasn't even, man, he still didn't even know that he can deal with Gentiles at this time. Oh, I'm through. You can set it down. No, I don't want hold on. Yeah, this was in the beginning. Like, later on in his life, he had dominion. Later on in his life, when you read the book of Acts, he was kiboshing. Like it was an invasion. They were invasion. They had so much dominion. Like the people would try to lock him up. They were praying to Malak would break him out of jail. Like they was moving, y'all. But anyway.
So she said being oppressed and bound is part of the curses. Yeah, come on, Ben. You had a comment?
So with the dying to self, that's something that Yahuwah's been dealing with me on for the past 2 days since yesterday. He was basically telling me that there was I was prophesying. He was telling me that there's still people in the assembly that aren't dying to themselves daily, basically. And he was bringing me back to a word that Malek Musha was saying on how important it is in this season to make sure that we're purposely and being intentional about fully dying to ourselves every day, because it'll even bring you to a point to where if you haven't yet, and if you aren't doing it daily, you won't even be able to hear the word of Yahuwah when you go in your prayer closet. Just like Uriah was talking about, you'll start hearing your own voice, and you won't be able to discern whether it's Yahuwah or you, basically. And he was really trying to get me to understand that, and basically get everybody else to, I guess, in a sense. Like, we have limits still. A lot of us still have limits and things that we're not willing to go past for Yahuwah, and he's going to begin to tap those things and tippy tap them and test us on those things in this season. And we're going to have to prepare for that and just be ready to do everything that Yahuwah tells us to do, basically.
Yeah, Yahuwah cold, man. Yahuwah cold. He said, make sure that you dine on yourself. If not, you're gonna start hearing your own voice in your prayer closet. So that's in Philippians 1 or 2. He says, watch out for those who call themselves the circumcision. And he says, who are such and such. But one of the parts he says is, whose alua is they belly. That means your alua is your own desires. So you going to pray, and you telling me that Yahuwah allow you to answer your own prayers?
Yeah, and actually, a big part of who he was talking to was Jungle and the people that missed that call on Friday. There was only 3 of us on it. That was a test for y'all, basically.
You got to speak loud.
So a big thing was that this word was mainly towards Jungle and the people that missed that call on Friday, because he told me that he was testing y'all, basically, to see if y'all would let y'all's nefesh overcome yourselves when it came to getting up, basically. And there is more. I gotta wait for it to come back to me.
Shalom, Mishpachah. I just wanted to let y'all know that we do have first fruits. Ima Oriya grew some honeydew melon, so everyone will partake of the first fruits. That's all I wanted to say. Shalom, shalom.
Rebirth of a nation. Hebrew kingdom building.